Okay, we should be live. I'm going to make sure everything is working, and then we will get started. Audio sounds good. All right, we should be ready to... No mic. Is it not on? Is it working? It was working a second ago. Oh, no, it's good. Okay. Alrighty. So we've got a pretty busy stream today. We're going to go through 5 weeks. We're going to make it up to Week 18, the final week of the regular season. I always like to give Week 18 its own stream because that one is usually super fun. We simcast every game, except for the ones that we watch, obviously. What is going on, SG, Giddy, Pokemon, Seafloor, Kevin, Ja, Spolk, Pepperjack, Nick. If I missed anyone else, hello. So we're watching 2 games today. We're simcasting 3, and I think the 2 games we're watching are within the first 2 weeks. Yes. The Riverhogs and the Titans here in Week 13. 2 teams we have not watched yet, but they're both very strongly in the AFC playoff picture. They're both competing in the AFC South, one of the few divisions where it feels like all 4 teams are kind of in the running. They're all within 3 games of each other. And then Week 14, the Rams and the Ravens. We have not watched a full Raven game yet. They have the best record in the league currently, facing off against Lamar Jackson and the LA Rams, who started off the year slow, but they've played a lot better, winning 6 of their last 8. And we get to see Derrick Henry in a Ravens uniform, which is going to be interesting. So let's not waste any time. Let's get the random number generator ready to roll. And it lands on 1. That is the Hogs. Patrick Mahomes has played very game manager-ish this year. He's basically been our league's version of Alex Smith. Maybe if you want to entice Nickinator, we can say Kirk Cousins. That'll make him a lot happier. General is on hell. Yeah, that seemed like a mess. Okay, is it going to work? Can I get both teams to do their uniforms? Oh, there we go. There we go. Okay, I don't know if I have the coaches here, though. Real had a lot to say in general 5 minutes ago. I'm putting the disaster in server on your hand. Oh, great. Awesome. Raiders get a simcast. How about no? We don't need to see that unfold live. If only the Raiders played Seattle, I would genuinely put that game on the poll. Me and Nick attempted to sort it out in general. We failed. Well, I appreciate the effort. Yeah, I don't think either coach is here. Do we have any preference? The Riverhogs don't exactly have a ton of choices because they're a reload team. So it's basically, do we want dark blue? What about light blue or lighter? Okay, this looks cool. I almost kind of like one of them being light blue and one of them being dark blue. And then the Titans want Oilers. Perfect. Which one's the best Oiler one? Oh, they had the alternate classic. Never mind. Yeah, there we go. They didn't have this last year. I'm used to what the Titans had last year. All white is all white. Wait, the Oiler stuff is white. So I think that's probably not in play. Oh, it's blue. Never mind. All white is an option as well. Okay, this actually looks kind of nice. I can't lie. What does everyone prefer? Yeah, the Raiders will get a simcast in Week 18. You are correct about that. So I guess we will have to see it unfold live. They would play the Broncos, because I know we play Kansas City. And then Seattle in Week 18 plays Arizona. That game might be for a playoff spot. White on gray. I don't love... Let's see if the white jerseys with the... Ooh. This. I like that. What do we think of this? White jerseys and blue pants. This honestly is really clean. It complements the blue on the shoulder as well. Whites is good. I'm screenshotting that. This is a watched game. Both the first 2 games today are both watches, and then the last 3 weeks we are all simcasting. The Raiders upsetting the Broncos. That's going to be cinema. Imagine the Raiders lose Warren Flowers that way and the Chargers win the division because the Raiders beat the Broncos at the end of the year. That would be hilarious. I need it like I need air. Alrighty, let's get this show on the road. Week 13. We're officially in the final portion of the season. The trade deadline is done. Our rosters are pretty much finalized for the rest of this season. And 2 teams who are currently competing for AFC playoff spots but are kind of on the outside are the Riverhogs and the Titans. Tennessee might be one of the wild cards. We have the same record as Tennessee and we're in 6th. So the Titans are pretty much right there. And the Riverhogs are just a little bit out. And obviously both of these teams are close within a division race that the Blues at 8-3 are currently on top of. We'll get a lot of questions answered today. We're going to have a handful of playoff spots be clinched, and award races are going to narrow down, so buckle up. Raiders beating the Black Knights. I would feel so bad at that point. Raiders beat Broncos and Browns steal the first pick. Seattle would have to win at some point, too. And the Caps. The Caps probably are going to win, I would think, one of their last 6 games. But they haven't won since week 1. So you never know. Do I think the Condoms make the playoffs? I would guess no, just because the AFC is so deep. I feel like the AFC this season is definitely better than the NFC. It's refreshing being in the better conference for once. Because last year the AFC sucked. Oh, McCaffrey starts off strong. Good run. Nick Nader knows McCaffrey pretty well. That was his top pick last year. But, I mean, I think the Condoms could sneak into one of those wild card spots, but the fact that you guys are last in the division and you play in maybe the best division in the league, at least in terms of depth, I can't think of the division that's been better this year than the AFC South. Maybe the AFC East. I would say those are the top 2. Rodgers putting up Baker numbers. Is that a bad thing, at least in watched? I don't know if that's an insult. Vegas is more likely to pick a second quarterback than Seattle is. What I'm curious about is if the Raiders get 1, does Seattle give up the house? Because I know C-Mill would really want Warren Flowers for obvious reasons. I wonder if Spolk would consider that if the other quarterbacks are reasonably decent. Besides the Seahawks, is the NFC West good? Yeah, I mean, there's 3 possible playoff teams. Seattle kind of drags it down, but on paper, the Seahawks are good. That might have been a late hit. They might get some extra yards. The North, trust. Well, you had the Browns and the Bengals, so, yeah, it is a late hit. And I don't know what the Steelers are going to look like with Mayo, man. That'll be interesting. I can't imagine Spolk wants to give up 1. I think you're probably right. It's probably unlikely. But who knows? Maybe C-Mill just overwhelms him with the house. And after this week, we'll find out who is currently projected at number 1. Wow, nice play. We'll find out who's projected at number 1 because the Raiders have a bye week. So we'll see who the standings puts at 32 and who they put at 31. I imagine it's subject to change, but I guess that's kind of interesting. QB market thing to consider is how far the NFC North teams will trade up for QB2 or QB3. Yeah, you're definitely right. I feel like there's so many questionable quarterbacks starting this year. I feel like half the league is expecting to get a rookie next year when there are probably, instead of 16 good quarterbacks in the next draft, we might be lucky if there's 5. So I'm curious to see how that all plays out. Praying on Frank's downfall for any chance at the playoffs. Can both the Ravens and the Rams lose next week, please? Because the Rams losing would be funny. But the Ravens I would like to lose for seeding on the off chance, the very off chance, that we pass them. I have arrived. Well, you haven't missed much other than your defense getting gashed to start the game. C-Mill getting blocked if I'm the first overall pick. Fair enough. As that's not McCaffrey. That's Tyler Kroft. rushes it in for a score. And I almost called them the Oilers. The Titans strike first. I'm used to having the Oilers in our league. Bryce Young is the only quarterback who's guaranteed next year. You're right. Well, technically he's not. I imagine you're going to pay him, clearly, based on how you're talking. But assuming Bryce Young is back next year, then you're right. I would imagine the Browns are going to look for a rookie, and lucky for them, they will be at the top of the draft. The Bengals might look for a rookie. The Steelers, who the hell knows? I'm enjoying the roller coaster that's been the Pittsburgh Steelers this year. That team has been interesting. Can we find the Raiders and the Seahawks yet? How can we find them? We can, dock draft picks for tanking? I mean, I did tell them I can do it. They could do it, so it wouldn't really be fair, but whatever. Broken up, that's A.J. Brown who dropped it. Andrew Van Ginkel, Nighthawk legend, with the deflection. A.J. Brown is making his Virginia Beach Riverhog debut. He was acquired from the Eagles for a package that included Drake London and a whole lot of draft picks. There's A.J. Brown again. This time he comes down with it. Kevin is doing his best Mike Tomlin impression. These Steelers aren't going to win 9 games, though, because I think they already have 8. Right? Do they have 7 or 8? I feel like they have 8. Here's Jahmyr Gibbs. I'm curious to see how he plays because I've heard good things about these speed backs in Watched. So I'm really intrigued to see how he plays. Because guys like him generally don't do well in the sim. Now, I will say Jahmyr Gibbs' rating has gone up enough throughout the year to where at this point it's not an issue. He's like an 86. But that archetype generally can struggle in Madden Sim. At least in the sim. The Watched is a totally different ballgame. I want to thank him for giving me Christian Watson. Watson in the Debo role. That's interesting. Boink. Incomplete. I'm 8-3. Do I think you'll make the playoffs? I think the chances of you not making the playoffs is... I'm trying to think of something funny. You not making the playoffs is the same probability that the Raiders or the Seahawks winning a game. In other words, you're probably fine unless you fall flat on your face. Weirdly, the only quarterback we know who will be starting in the NFC North is on the worst team in the division. The No Dogs. Congratulations, Anthony Richardson. Brian Hoyer won 2 games and you get to keep your job. Oh, broken up. Nearly intercepted by J.C. Horn. Trevor Lawrence watch game in the playoffs is going to be cinema. I am intrigued to see Trevor Lawrence in watch in a playoff game because that's probably going to be a mess. They play a defense like Chicago's. Good luck. Speaking of good luck stopping McCaffrey. He's been on a heater so far. He's caught all 3 passes for 72 yards, I think. And he's got a few good runs as well. He has been the Titans' offense, which... I mean, I don't blame him. Utilize your best player and let him cook. Adding on that he's 6'4". Debo ain't 6'4". I wish he was. Actually, no, I don't. I wish he wasn't in real life, but I wish he was in the game. But we have Mike Williams, so it doesn't matter. Lawrence doesn't have the God Squad to bail him out. No, but the Niners are the tied for highest rated team in the game. And I think they have the most points scored, and they might have the least points allowed, which is pretty impressive. Albeit they get the Seahawks in their division, so that's a big reason why. Niners offense versus Bears defense is coughing baby versus uranium bomb. I guess it watched, yeah. Condoms legend Mike Williams. You did nothing of just a Trevor. Yeah, Trevor Lawrence nearly sold SG in the playoffs last year. He didn't, unfortunately. And then he got Isaiah Thomas, who was just as mid, which for that team wasn't necessarily a bad thing. Naming my wide receiver core, Christianity. You've got some easy puns with those 3. A white safety just tackled McCaffrey. Yeah, there are white safeties in this league, believe it or not. That's Reed Blankenship. Respect Pro Bowler Ed Reed Blankenship. As the Titans score again, they're going to add to their lead. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns. This time it's the other tight end, Evan Ingram. Not a very good start for the Hogs at all. Virginia Beach doesn't have a ton of margin for error. They're 6-5. So realistically, in order to grab one of those wild card spots, I feel like you got to go like 4-2. And that doesn't even guarantee it because the AFC is super deep. But 4-2 probably gets you a spot. So this is a really important game. Evan Ingram didn't drop it. He caught like 100 balls this year in real life. Him and that Jacksonville offense has really fixed him up. Now that he has, instead of horrible quarterback play, he has like above average QB play. This is why there's no football team in Virginia. Traded all those picks for A.J. Brown just to miss the playoffs. Jahmyr Gibbs has other plans, though. Woo! Nice little juke move. Can he outrun 44? He doesn't. All the way inside the 25 for a gain of 50. There's one problem. Holding. And it's all coming back. Darnell Wright with the flag, and that is a net change of about 60 yards. Oof. Play action now. Mahomes goes short. Seattle plays Dallas. Oh, poor Dallas. They've actually finally been tanking correctly. Now, well, they're going to win one. Evan Ingram had 100 catches and less than 1,000 yards. Yeah, that's not ideal, but, I mean, he's a tight end. It's not like he's an outside receiver. That'd be weird. If Dan in his prime started on the OFL 23 Bills in Season 1, how many rings did the Bills get? Nice throw. A.J. Brown comes down with it. In the 5 seasons that we would have played in OFL 23, I think the Bills would have won 6 championships. Don't ask me how. Dan on that team would have been nuts. That would not be fair. So it's a good thing it didn't happen. How is that even possible? By averaging less than 10 yards a catch, yeah. Mahomes has targeted only A.J. Brown, it feels like, today. Which, I mean, I guess on one hand isn't that bad of a call. On the other hand, though, Jordan Addison's like top 5 in receiving. Yet Jordan Addison is like the 3rd or 4th best offensive rookie. The rookie class this year on the offensive side of the ball has been absurd. There's like 3 guys who are rookies who could be in the offensive player of the year race. Sean Tucker leads the league in touchdowns by a lot. Quinn Johnston might be the best receiver in the league right now. Bryce Young is the starting quarterback of the team with the best record. So, like, Jordan Addison, who's been probably one of the 5 or 10 best receivers in the game, might not even be a Rookie of the Year candidate. As there's A.J. Brown again. What is going on, MP? How we doing? That looked a little Mahomey. I wonder why. And now they have a 1st and goal. I don't know why it says 1st and 10. They have it inside the 10. AJ's in the zone, rightfully so. Hot take, Bryce Young. Bryce Young is going to get 3rd, and you'll like it. Arguably the best running back and arguably the best receiver in the league are rookies. No offense to Bryce Young. There's nothing he can do. That's like giving the award to a healthy Joe Burrow in 2020 over Justin Jefferson. That is it if Joe Burrow's team was, like, good. Or better yet, that's like giving Brock Purdy the Offensive Player of the Year over Christian McCaffrey or Tyreek Hill. Again, not to discredit how well Bryce is playing, but those guys are pretty darn good. As the Titans get the stop, the Hogs are going to have to kick it with Justin Tucker. The only OFL Justin Tucker memory I have is him missing like 3 kicks in a playoff game. If he had made those kicks, the Jets would have really beaten the Bills in a playoff game. That would have been so cool. But you can't get everything you want for it, kids. And now the Titans have a chance to possibly turn this game into a blowout. They are firing on all cylinders right now. Quentin Johnston has like 7 times the amount of... Quentin Johnston in the second half of the year, I think, had more receiving yards than Stephon Diggs. Respect him. Is it possible that Stephon Diggs is completely washed? Yes, but still. Justin Tucker let IT have a ring. He absolutely did. If Justin Tucker made those kicks, we'd have 3 rings. You probably would. Yeah, the Jets and the Raiders would have been the AFC Championship. Imagine Little John in a bowl. That would have been so cool. Imagine Justin Jefferson and Stephon Diggs. What a pedestrian receiving corps. You want to know something that's better? Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison. Broken up. Good defense. 3rd and 4. This is a big play. If the Hogs get the stop here, they can really put themselves back in the game. And they don't get it. Nice catch by Evan Ingram. Without being biased, what's your way too early OFL Bowl 26? Way too early? How is it way too early? We're towards the end of the year. I don't think it's too early. We're on 26, right? No, we're on 25. Oh, so you're asking me to guess next year. Oh, Lord. Well, I'm going to guess my team because I think my team is the best roster in the game. You can say it's biased, but I feel like I've put my team in that position, so I'm going to guess us. And then in the NFC, I guess like Carolina or the Rams, just because they have really good quarterback play. I mean, I don't know what else I'm supposed to get. Oh, you want this year? Oh, okay. I was going to say. Well, my guess doesn't really change. As long as we like don't suck and watched, I'm going to pick my team. And then in the NFC, I'm going to pick the Panthers. I like Carolina's chances. I don't trust Trevor Lawrence and watched. The Rams and watched lost to Seattle. And I don't know if there's anybody else in that conference who's like a legit, like, the Bears are. Yeah, I guess the Bears would probably be my second pick after Carolina. But the Panthers have great quarterback play. Aaron Donald's been one of the best defensive players in the league. Breece Hall's going to be healthy. So I would guess Chargers over Panthers. We'll say 31-20. Why are they running read options with Aaron Rodgers? Why are we designing runs for a 40-year-old? Mine is low-key Bears Voyagers. That would be interesting. Do I trust the Voyagers to win all those watch games, though? I don't know. I don't know if their team's equipped for it, but they've obviously been really good this year, and obviously the Bears are as well. I could absolutely see the Bears making a full run. Least biased Octi take. I feel like I've put my team in the position to win. I don't know. I mean, you can call it biased, but like, I feel like I've done it. Oh, wow, that should have been intercepted. I feel like I've put my team in the position to make it there. There's a good chance they don't. I'm not stupid. Watched games are a lot of luck. Jets over Panthers. That would be a fun game. Well, no, it wouldn't. My team isn't there. But, like, bias aside, that would be a fun game. What week are we in? We are in week 13. Jets over Bears. I'm still biased. That would also be a fun game. Cardinals Jets. A Pokemon OFL Bowl appearance would be something else. If he makes it, good on him. I don't know if Russell Wilson can lead a team to the bowl. Prediction, you can't pick your team. Okay, that's fair. That actually makes me think. Because I think the Chargers are the team to beat. I think our roster is of that caliber. But if we throw the Chargers out of the way, Carolina would still be my NFC pick, with the Bears being second. In the AFC, who do I think is best equipped to win multiple watch games? I would throw Baltimore's hat in the ring. I would throw the Jets' hat in the ring. I would throw the Blues in there. The Titans look really sharp here. I'm going to pick the Blues. I like the Blues. They really impressed me against the Steelers in Week 8 on the road, and the Steelers are a good team, and they blew them out of the water. So I'm going to say Panthers over Blues, without the Chargers being involved. Dreads make a run. Well, you guys got to win some games, but with the NFC being a little bit weaker, a wild card spot, I guess, is possible if you run the table or go like 5-1 the rest of the way. Think we can beat just about every team in watch? I think it's definitely possible. I think your team is good enough. You certainly outplayed the Chargers, who, again, I think are the team to beat, albeit our roster has changed since then quite a bit. But still, you significantly outplayed us, even though the game was as close as it was. Check my your slot receiver's Devontae Parker, I think, as you said. I remember making that switch. 2nd and 1, good catch. They're getting close. I think that's Jordan Addison finally showing up. Wait, no, that might be Duvernay. Yeah, that's not even Jordan Addison. Never mind. A Dak Chubb backfield with weapons around Dak and a strong defense. You certainly can. There's a lot of teams who I think could beat any team. That's kind of the reason why I didn't want to sim here, is because this is where the teams are going to be the most even. Eventually, we're going to have teams like the Cowboys and the Bills last year, and other teams slightly behind them like the Bengals, Texans, Seattle, Dreadnoughts, etc., who kind of break away from everybody. But right now, we don't really have that. As Jahmyr Gibbs scores, and the Hogs are back in the game. They're only down by 1 score. The Hogs haven't looked all that good in this half, but they're right in there. They start with the ball in the second half as well. So this is very much a game. Have these teams already played each other by chance? Does anybody know? The Hogs were the Colts. I think they did play each other earlier in the year. Gibbs did the Elway spin. No, he did the Desmond King spin. Oh, look at this! The Oilers are going to run back the kick! The Titans are going to run back the kick. Jakeem Grant takes it the distance. And the Titans are right back up by 2 scores with a snap of the finger. And all the momentum that the Hogs had, gone. Well, that was fun while it lasted. Put Waddle in the slot for Sim. Okay, I can fix it. It's not Simcast time yet. It's only a 2-score game. We have time. You know you want to see a draft. Oh, the Reds are 5 and 6. I thought they had 4 wins. Oh, that's better than I thought. And you're probably going to have 6 because you play against Kansas City, who is not all that good. That's going to be a hold, probably. Another hold on the Hogs' offensive line. Kevin Dotson this time. Watch Baker, the best receiving core in the league. Yeah, I would probably agree with that. Superstar running back and the best defense in the league. Yeah, I guess you're not wrong anywhere. That's fair. Lamar against the Ravens is low-key cinema. It should be. It should be a good game. And that'll wrap up the first half. A big kick return by the Titans puts them up 24-10. The Oilers have some work to do. Their offense is starting to play better, and they do start with the football, so they're not out of it. But they've got to get some damage going here on this drive. They could have tied it if their special teams, didn't shoot themselves in the foot. If Dak plays like he did against the Chargers and watched, other than the one stupid pick where we passed it, that was funny. Shout out to Asante Samuel Jr. But yeah, if Dak plays like that, you guys can beat anyone. If Nick Chubb does his job, there's a lot of teams who could beat anyone. There's probably like 12 teams who I think legitimately can make a run. Once we get into Season 4 and Season 5, that list might be cut in half. Can't believe y'all didn't want the 8-3 Niners versus the 10-2 Ravens. Believe it or not, there's other good games, though. Which week is that? Week 16? Yeah, we got to get one Charger game in there. Come on. And the Voyagers are like, they have what, 8 wins? They're pretty good. How far are the Titans making it? That's a great question. You've passed the eye test so far today, although the defense is starting to play worse. The AFC is loaded, though. The Blues, the Ravens, the Chargers, the Jets. I don't know how much I trust the Steelers, but they exist. The Broncos, the Dildos, the Hogs, maybe the Condoms. There's a lot of good teams in this conference. So I think it's going to be harder than it is in the NFC, because how many teams do I trust in the NFC? I trust Carolina. I trust Chicago. I have faith in the Rams. If Trevor Lawrence doesn't suck, I would put the Niners in that boat. Maybe Atlanta. And that's probably about it. Unless I'm forgetting someone. I don't think I am. The longer you go without a watch game, the less chance there is of you choking away the playoffs. That's true. Good tackle. Who is 55? Who's their D tackle? Brandon Graham! All 36 years old of them. We beat the Blues and the Chargers. Yes, but that doesn't necessarily mean you'll beat them again. I mean, it's a good win. Obviously, those are two strong teams. Especially the Chargers, both up. But that doesn't mean it'll happen in the playoffs, especially in a watched game setting. We don't have faith in the Rams. They lost to Seattle. That's a fair point. Good throw on third down. Mahomes is really starting to cook, and A.J. Brown's had himself a nice debut, minus that first drop. How is SG a super team? There's no super teams here. The highest rated team in the game is an 88. There's no super teams. The Ravens are like an 83, 84. Which makes it all the more impressive that they're 10-2. Watch Seattle is built different. You're right, but it's funny and we have agendas to push. So. Kevin Dotson's hurt. Oof. How are they 10-2? Well, I mean, they are a good team. Are they the best team on paper? No, probably not. On one hand, I feel like they might come back down to earth a little bit, but on the other hand, they're very well-rounded on both sides of the ball. They now have Derrick Henry, although Javonte Williams was playing really well. But adding Derrick Henry doesn't hurt. What a throw! Oh, he was not in bounds. That was a good pass, too. The three highest rated, the Titans are an 88, the Niners are an 88, and the Chargers have gone up to an 88. I think it's us three. And I don't think anybody has gone above 88. Oh, it's a fake! And it worked! Oh my goodness, a fake kick worked in this game! Justin Tucker to Michael Mayer for the touchdown! Well, that caught me off guard! Wow, what a play call! Fakes do not work in this game, but the Titans bit the bullet! That looked awfully Mahomey back there is right. Now fake field goals work. Tell that to the Lions. And he gets his own PAT. Justin Tucker scored all 7 points on that possession. It's next up Justin Tucker. That's what it looked like with that pass. Are we sure Duke Justin Tucker, and I guess technically OFL Cowboy legend Justin Tucker, didn't just appear? Didn't Justin Tucker win a ring with the Cowboys in OFL? I feel like he did. And Titans franchise Raider legend Justin Tucker, of course. Did he not win a ring with you guys? I thought he was pretty good. Maybe not. Oh well. Yeah, Duke Justin Tucker, not the kicker. The kicker didn't win anything last year. He choked away playoff games. No, Duke Justin Tucker would have joined the Cowboys well after the 28-0 game. He joined in the long-term sim because we added the Titans classes to the sim because it's fun. No, Dallas, I assume, always had Chris Boswell last year. So Tucker could do that, but not make 3 field goals in a playoff game. Yeah, apparently. Who would have thought? I wonder how good the Bills would have been without that home field advantage. Like, I don't want to take anything away from them. They were like a 96 overall. They probably would have made the OFL Bowl at least twice, maybe all 3 times again. But I can't help but think we would have taken at least one had it not been for that home field advantage. You should upload OFL draft. Well, I don't have the OFL draft class. I'm not making the draft. That's somebody else here. That's not me. I mean, I guess I theoretically could upload it after I get it, but Nick might as well do that if he wants to. Probably after the draft, though. Why would we upload it beforehand? We're not letting you guys cheat. If it wasn't for home field advantage, the Jets absolutely would have won that game. You're right. So that's one championship they probably don't get. Although we don't know that for sure, but we can probably assume the Jets win that. Change what you only said. I promise I saw it the first time. I can't change it in game, sadly. Nice tackle by Kenny Clark. And it's 3rd and 2. This has been a solid game. I give the Riverhawks credit for battling back after really starting slow. If not for that kick return touchdown, things would look quite a bit different. As McCaffrey does not get it. They have to kick. 2-score game. I feel like they might go for it. I get it. It's 4th and 1. You're close. I would just take the points. They're going to go for it. I think this could come back to bite them. No disrespect to Vegas or New York, but I think you probably win that game. Absolutely. Okay, they get it. I guess that's why I'm not calling plays for the Titans. They didn't listen to me, and it worked out. Kendrick Bourne, the best wide receiver, won in the game with the first down. So the Titans lead by 7 going into the 4th. We'll see if they can finish off the job. As long as they score here, they'll be up by 2 possessions. They'll be in a good spot. It won't be game over, but they'll definitely be in a good position. McCaffrey's really slowed down, though. The Riverhawks' run defense has played a lot better as the game has gone along. There's Will Anderson, who brings him down. Anderson's got some jewelry. He's got a couple of OFL Bowl rings in Buffalo, of course. One of them largely because of home field advantage, but I digress. A Nick Littlejaw OFL Bowl would have been like the funniest 3 days the server has ever seen. And if Littlejaw won the OFL Bowl, then that would be even funnier. 3rd and 5, they don't get it, so they're going to have to kick after all. That's Will Anderson again. So it'll be a 10-point game, certainly a doable deficit, but the Hogs have some work to do. That would not, it wouldn't be funny, it would be hilarious. So the Riverhawks need points here, preferably a touchdown if they want to keep themselves in the game. First year where Will Anderson is not on your team. That's correct, yeah, because you had him in OFL 22. It's also the first year where Will Anderson isn't like an X-Factor 80 overall pass rusher. Because Madden only gave him star dev for Lord knows what reason. That never made sense, and still doesn't. Considering Will Anderson is the best defensive rookie in the class. Wink, wink. John Johnson versus Frank OFL Bowl. Here's the problem with that. The chances of that happening is less likely than us having a Seahawks and Raiders OFL Bowl. Because you guys are in the same conference. I like competitive games, but on the other hand, I want to watch my watch game. Are you saying it won't be competitive? You're playing against the team with the best record in the league. 3rd and 8. Mahomes throws it away. The Titans get the stop. I think he probably got to punt it here. What did I think of the Chiefs-Bills game? Oh, they're going for it at the 19th. Wow, bold. I think it's too early. But I get it. Okay, fair enough. Good play. Again, that's why I'm not calling them. But anyway, the Chiefs-Bills game was fun. I didn't get to like fully experience it because I had been on an emotional roller coaster for the 3 hours before that. But that was still a fun game. I feel bad for the Bills. Littlejaw getting to a bowl before me would have been grounds for me to have matching broken legs. Oh my lord. Here's A.J. Brown again. He's got to have at least 7 catches. Maybe 8. 7 for 130. Have yourself a debut. The world would be so much better if our offensive coordinator didn't want just screens in the OFL Bowl. Another good throw by Mahomes. Looking awfully Mahomey back there. There's Jordan Addison. Finally, he does something. Oh, he has 3 catches. Okay. Still, I mean, that's not, like, spectacular. How about them Lions? How about them? How about them is right. That was a stupid throw. Tyrann Mathieu saying he's too short, pushes him. A.J. Brown has at least 3 inches on him. Whoa, pause. My Wi-Fi is giving you cancer. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you recover. He looked like he was not ready for that ball at all. He caught it. You should do a Madden where people play the games instead of sim. Here's the problem with that. Not everybody has the game, first off. And then second off, it would be a waste of time for me because my team would win 2 games every year. At best. 2 games seems generous now that I said it. Tested positive. How does one test positive for the flu? Wouldn't it just be that, like, you're 100 degrees and you're sick? Then sponsor it on the main channel, run it, and don't play. Here's the problem. Nice touchdown, by the way. There's Michael Mayer, his second. One from Justin Tucker, one from Mahomes. The problem with that is I used to do OFL on the main channel, and the average view duration was really bad. I don't think the main channel audience would per se enjoy it. They took a test and the doctor said I had it. Well, fair enough. Well, I hope you improve. I tested positive for a broken kneecap. Dan Campbell bit through it. Out indefinitely. I think it's different because people are playing. Yeah, but like, if it's not like a true series, how do people like necessarily fully enjoy it? 27-24. Where have I seen that? Tyler Bass. I like your content, but I wish the draft classes are on Xbox. I think draft classes are cross-platform now, right? Didn't they just add that like a week or 2 ago? I don't know if that's the case for current classes. I hope it is. But I think classes are now cross-platform. They didn't like those Marquise Way masterclasses. I'm pretty sure Way was on my team after we moved to Twitch full-time. You're probably right, because you got Way later. He started with the Eagles, right? And then they went to Buckshot too, I think. Even for last gen, I have no idea. What would you say to a speed rebuild? What would I would say, hi, how's your day? Final play before the 2-minute warning. Can the Hogs get the stop? Nope. They do have all their timeouts, though. Had the teams the same, like all the trades are the ones from OFL. Here's the problem with that. That would take, like, years to do. I ain't got time for that. Not at all. My quarterback, Mount Rushmore, Marquise Way, Russell Wilson, and Joe Burrow. You're missing someone. You're missing, like, the second best one there. Okay, maybe third, but still, you're missing something. You're missing an obvious one. Third and 4 for the ball game. He got it. And the Titans are going to hang on. Doris is junior. No. I thought of him after I said that, but he's 5th. You forgot about the guy who took your team to its first ever conference championship in OFL 22. That guy. All right, so the Titans beat the Hogs 27-24. Got to give the Hogs credit for battling back, but it was too little too late. They started the game off too slowly, and the Titans do enough to hang on to their lead and get the win. I remember when Nick said Dan robbed Russ of the Season 5 MVP. Didn't Dan throw like 60 touchdowns? Russell Wilson was also absurd in OFL 22, for what it's worth. Let's sort by passer rating here. Interesting. Interesting. Look who's in first. I thought both quarterbacks played pretty well. Mahomes definitely improved as the game went along. Aaron Rodgers was solid. Neither of them were as good as this guy, though. That was a sick throw. On the ground, McCaffrey started off hot and then was abysmal in the second half. While Jahmyr Gibbs only got the ball 9 times. They should have used him more. Evan Engram was solid. Big game for A.J. Brown. Mayer scored twice. A lot of pancakes. 6 for Morgan Moses and Tyron Smith. No sacks. Wow. Maybe we monitor the pass blocking ratings a little bit. Remember the Carson Strong MVP? Carson Strong was like a baller in OFL 22. He was fun. Oh, there's Zach Kuntz. What a guy. All right, let's actually, no, Jalen Waddle. I'm not forgetting. Frank only reminded me 4 times. I'll make sure to start Corral. Yeah, I had Waddle second. All right. All-time Mount Rushmore. Amari Cooper, J.C. Jackson, Bobby Wagner, Brian Burns. Yeah, those seem like good choices. I can't think of any, like, obvious other person it would be. What about fourth quarter Lamar Jackson? Without those reminders, you would have said... Well, I would have remembered with one of them. Maybe not all... I would have needed 1, but maybe not 4. All right, let's take a look at the games around the rest of the league. We will start in Seattle. Michael Thomas at quarterback, and they only lose 27-0. Good job by the defense. Michael Thomas was not very good. Who would have guessed? There's Blaine Gabbert. What a guy. Josh Paschal, 2 sacks. That's cool. Steelers. The Mayo Man expedition starts off with a win. 18-20 over the Cardinals. What an odd score. Levis played well. 16 of 25, 223 and a score. Not bad. Saquon Barkley with a good game for Arizona. 2 sacks for Jermaine Johnson. Titans, we obviously know they won. Voyagers beat the Eagles. Wait, no, we're in week 13. The Voyagers had a bye week. The Dildos, they keep on winning. They've won 5 in a row. They beat the Commies 13-10. A lot closer than it needs to be against that team. Although Mac Jones did play really well. Big game for Jackson Smith and Jigba, 10 for $115. If JSN didn't get hurt, he would also be in the Rookie of the Year race. He was playing really well before he got hurt. Bears, bye week. Bengals beat the Blues. Wow. Justin Herbert did outplay Drew Lock, though. But this is a surprise. The Bengals have not won in a minute. Keenan Allen scores 3 times. I think he's at 15 on the year. So the Blues and Titans are tied for first. Where are we tiebreaker-wise again? Loss, and then week 18. So the Titans are in first place for the time being. The London Black Knights had a bye week. Broncos country. Let's ride. They beat the Condors 24-17. They will hold on to their first place lead going into week 14 where they play against the Chargers to determine who will be in first place, assuming the Chargers win this week. If not, that'd be pretty bad. We play against Toronto. The Browns get slaughtered by the Rams 28-3. So the Rams keep winning while Cleveland keeps losing. The Bulls lose to the Lions. Nick Foles with a win in his first start with Detroit, and he played pretty well. So did Jared Goff. Jared Goff is... Do you guys know the meme with like the fancy car in front of the dirty house? Jared Goff is the fancy car on this Blues team. The Cavs, did they win their first game since week 1? No, because they played Carolina. They lose 28-7. It would be funny if the Caps of the team is projected to get the number 1 pick now, not the Raiders or Seattle. Aaron Donald, 3.5 sacks, helping out his Defensive Player of the Year race. I stand by my opinion of how did he go in the 3rd round. Cardinals lost. Chargers beat the Huskies. A little closer than it needed to be, but a win's a win. I'll take it. Kyler Murray was better than Jalen Hurts, though. That's not ideal. Sean Tucker was solid. Why did Raheem Mostert get the ball 11 times? Do not tell me my sweet prince is hurt. Greg Dortch played well, per usual. Solid debuts for Mike Williams and Rashee Rice. And then on defense, Quay Walker with a sack and a half. Hurts is a fraud. Hurts also won. So that's what I really care about. Chiefs beat the Dreads. Oh, 14-6. Any chance that the Chiefs getting the number 1 pick is now out the door. It looks like Josh Rosen got hurt and was replaced by Bailey Zappi. And they were both considerably better than Justin Fields. Commies lost. Condors lost. Dallas won. Dreads lost. Eagles beat the Niners. Big win for Philadelphia. 38-35. Kirk Cousins. Kirko Chains looking strong. Do you know that we're the most fraudulent 8? You guys have won 5 in a row with like 3 blowouts. How is that fraudulent? Falcons beat the Jets. Nice win for Atlanta. Dak Prescott completed 86% of his passes, though. Only 58 for Brock Purdy. Octi prevented a division of me, Lenny, Ja, and Todd. Is there a problem with that? We're an 81 overall team, and you're 8-4. You're playing well. Niners lost. Giants had a bye week. Huskies lost. Jets lost. Lions won. Panthers won. Raiders had a bye week. Rams won. Ravens had a bye week. And that'll bring us back to the Hogs. The Raiders have lost 27. They scored 24 against the bye week. That's a lot. Players of the week, Kirk Cousins, Justin Herbert, Cody Barton, and Jordan Hicks. The Jets lost to Atlanta. Falcons are a good team. That's not like that surprising. All right, no playoff spots have been clinched yet. Who is currently number 32? That's funny. It's the Caps, then Seattle, then the Raiders. So if the Caps lose out, they'll get the number 1 pick as of now. Then it would be Seattle. Then it would be the Raiders, although this is subject to change. In the AFC North, the Steelers are within a game of Baltimore after winning. The Titans are now ahead of the Blues in the South. The East has the Voyagers on top, with the Dildos shortly behind, as well as the Jets. In the West, the winner of this game in Week 14 takes first place between the Broncos and the Chargers, bolt up. The Bears still lead the North pretty comfortably. Falcons and Panthers still tied in the South. In the East, the Giants and Eagles knotted up at 6-6. And then the Niners lead the West only by a game. The Rams are right on their tail, as is the Cardinals. Okay, let's put Mr. Devontae Parker in the slot. The Riverhawks had a couple injuries. We can look at that. And I also want to check Sean Tucker just so I have peace of mind that he's not injured, because I'm going to be sad if he is. Sean Tucker would have broken LT's. Well, maybe he wouldn't have broken it, but he would have been close. Cody Malk and Maurice Hurst. As for Sean Tucker. Okay, thank God. Half the conference, and it's more like 12. How many teams are not in contention? 1, 2, 3, 4. So 12 in the AFC, and then in the NFC, 1, 2, probably all the 4-win teams. So like 10. And this is what the updated playoff picture looks like now. Atlanta is the number 1 seed in the NFC. Bears dropped to 2 with their bye week. No other major changes for the most part. Were the Dildos in 7th? Well, now they are. Go through. We went through injuries last week. Why do we need to do it again? Here, we're going to roll through it fast. I don't know why we need to see it, but okay. Blues fell from 3 to 8. Wow. Yeah, you're right. The Blues are not in there. Huh. And they're what, 8-4? This is what I mean. The AFC is loaded. 8-4 is not currently in the playoffs. Yeah, the Ravens are at the top. You have 3 9-win teams and 4 8-win teams. The Jets are right there with 7. Check my other guards. What about them? Can we force Chubb to play through his injury? I don't know. Can you? Start Stetson. No balls. Well, right now you've got Luke Whippler and David Andrews, who appear to be the 2 highest rated guards on the roster. Number generator lands on 1. That's the Rams. Nick Chubb, I think, is out for what? 3 more weeks? 3, 4, 2, 3? Oh, breakout. Jamin Davis. 200 total yards are 2 of those stats. I imagine the Ravens are going to get 200 yards, so if Jamin Davis is a good game, all he needs technically is 1 sack, and then he'd get it. All right, what jerseys will we like, fellas? This is the second watch game, let me remind everybody. And then the next 3 weeks are all simcasts. Upgrade player. It does it, like, automatically. It'll upgrade before we go in the game. Those are fine. Okay, black jerseys, purple pants. "2019 Rams." Yeah, but Frank makes the rules and he wants the ugly yellow pants. All right. Second watch game of the day, the Rams and the Ravens. This should be interesting because the Ravens have the best record of the league at 10-2. We haven't watched a full game of them. We've had some simcasts with them. We saw them close it out against the Riverhogs all the way back in like week 3. And then we saw them close it out against the Chargers with a crazy touchdown by Isaiah Likely. But I'm really curious to see how this team plays in a full watch game to see if they are really the best team in the league or if their 10-2 start is kind of fluky. The Rams started the year off slow, but they've won 7 of their last 9. And obviously they've got one of the best in the business with Lamar Jackson, a potential MVP frontrunner, under center. What am I supposed to root for? Am I supposed to root for seeding or am I supposed to root for humor? Because those are 2 different results. The Rams are going to start with the ball. So we'll get to see Lamar Jackson back in Baltimore lead the way. We saw the Rams in week 1. They lost to Seattle, who has not won since. Now, Seattle and watched is different than Seattle and sim, but still kind of embarrassing to be the only team to lose to Seattle. Now, again, they've won 7 of 9. They're playing really well. Najee Harris gets 2. How many catches is Najee going to have today? Like 8? Well-known wide receiver. LA is going from playing the worst team, who they lost to playing the best team. It would be very ironic if they won. Lamar with a moon ball down the field, and it's broken up. Good coverage by 20. Who's 20? That does not look like a face can, but good play. 3rd and 8. Lamar floats it up. It's caught by Jalen Waddle for the first down. Jake Matthews is hurt. Is that Micah Parsons' matchup? No, Micah Parsons on the other side. But still, the Ravens have other good pass rushers too. Speaking of Micah Parsons, he gets himself acclimated with the game as he gets a loss of 3 on Najee Harris. That's Nick Cross, Bengal legend. Who dey? That does look like Nick Cross now that you say it. Najee gets nothing again. Lucas Van Ness makes the play. Since when has Parsons worn 94? That does look awfully weird on him. You're not wrong. 3rd and 13. They're going to run the ball. trying to catch the Ravens off guard, and it almost worked as he gets 7. But they're going to have to punt it away. Lamar going back to arm punting. What's new? Are we sure this isn't the FGFL Chiefs in a playoff game? Nearly a water punt, just off the mark. And now we get a look at Bryce Young, who leads out the Ravens offense. Bryce Young, all things considered, has been really solid this year. He's amongst the top of the league in terms of yards and touchdowns. Hasn't been as efficient as some of the other top quarterbacks, but in terms of the big-time counting stats, he's right up there. Love you, Octavius. Oh, that's so sweet. How did Micah Parsons change from 11 to 94? So I've noticed with a couple players, because you're right, Micah Parsons was their first pick. You'd think he would stay at 11. But I noticed some of the players switched. Not a lot of them, but some of them. I don't know why. Like, see, Bryce Young is still number 9. Let's see if we can find DK Metcalf, see if he's still 14. Jesse Bates is still 3 after getting drafted and traded. So it was only some of the players, which is odd. Isaiah Likely is still number 80. And he will likely get the first down. Why does Bryce have such wide hips? Well, them hips don't lie. That is a literal toddler. Yeah, really. Why are we talking about the body parts of, like, little children? I get that Apple is not an adult, but, like, still. Talking about a 7-year-old like that is still, like, creepy no matter what the age is, obviously. That goes without saying. Good deflection by Marte Mapu, the rookie, out of Sacramento State. What's their mascot again? I don't remember. 3rd and 1. The King is stopped. Jesse Bates brings him down. I thought I was 9. Well, I don't know about that, partner. A quick welcome to Baltimore moment for Derrick Henry. Gets stopped on 3rd and 1, and they're going to punt it. And it's going to go in the end zone for a touchback. I would understand the rationale for going for it. I feel like it's too early, though. It's the first drive of the game. You have it in your own territory. You didn't get it on 3rd and short with a run, so let's just say 4th and short works out. But when you're that close, I get it. Najee gets 8. We haven't seen any options yet. I would have to imagine the Rams are going to have quite a few in their back pocket. Oh, speak of the devil. A read option for Lamar Jackson, and he gets 12. Lamar's now looking to throw it. And it's caught. Broken tackle. First down. Now the Rams offense looks like they're in business. Chigo Conquo. All these launch city names at the bottom are giving me a heart attack. Yeah, we've got Rio de Janeiro, Buenos Aires, Anchorage, Albuquerque, San Antonio. Virginia Beach. This time the option doesn't... Was that a design run? Because they're calling it a sack. But it looked like that was a design run. Still, nonetheless, the Ravens actually stopped what looked like an option. Lucas Van Ness brings him down. Now it's 3rd and long. Lamar scrambling. He's sacked again. I assume that's Tyquan Lewis. Maybe Terrell Lewis. There's a lot of T. Lewises. A lot as in like 2. San Antonio we have every year. Have we had them before 23? I don't know. Maybe we did. I don't know. There's the AFC playoff picture. Oh, it clicked out awfully quick. That's the Lamar I know and dislike. Boink! Jedrick Wills is hurt. Are we sure this isn't the Dragons? I'm used to seeing that message. Tyquan Lewis shouldn't be playing. He probably rotated in there for a snap and made a nice play, to his credit. Jedrick Wills getting hurt and Isaiah Likely making a nice catch. I'm not sure this isn't Dragons franchise. I think Tyquan Lewis was also on the Dragons that first year, ironically enough. It's like the band is all back together here on the Ravens. Bryce Young launches up a prayer. He's got his man open, and it's broken up at the last second. DK had him beat, but it was a little underthrown. Xavier Howard. Why is he wearing 34? I thought that was going to be 6. That was a great defensive play. Well, great at the end. He got burned at the beginning, so, I mean, it wasn't, like, that great, but he finished it off. Bryce couldn't get his toddler arm to throw it enough. Underthrown deep ball at Xavier Howard. That's DPI in real life. They stopped the option again. Malcolm Rodrigo brings him down. The option defense is working so far, to their credit. I'm impressed. I think the Rams have been, like, in a vacuum a little bit better, but the Ravens have been able to stop the Rams' biggest strength, and that's a big deal. The Rams are going to have to win with Lamar Jackson's arm, and he is certainly capable of beating them with his arm, but I'm sure he'd prefer to do it with his legs. Mid-off. Both of these teams being bad is cinema. My in-city rivals versus my in-conference rivals. Good throw on 3rd and 9. Lamar fires to Marquise Brown. The old Ravens connection, doing it in the Ravens Stadium. I didn't even put the pieces together that Lamar and Hollywood were on the same team until right now. High-scoring affair, I see, yes. Ooh, look at the jet sweep. Works to perfection for Devontae Parker. Scheming up plays for Devontae Parker behind the line of scrimmage in the big old 2024 should be a federal crime when you have Jalen Waddle on your team, but hey, it worked, so what can you do? Najee Harris loses a yard. Nick Cross, Bengal legend, who dey? Lamar with a nice throw. He's having a good day as a passer. Hollywood again. Meepa with McCole Hardman and the Chiefs last night. DVP jet sweep. I didn't know that Arthur Smith was the Rams offensive coordinator. Screen. Who's 5? Devontae's 1. Hollywood's 2. Waddle's 17. Oh, that's DJ Chark. No, wait. Is it? No, it's Jarvis Landry. Another former Dragon legend. I didn't know this team had Jarvis Landry, but I guess that's cool. Lamar, another nice throw, another first down. Hollywood again. He's been the go-to guy. And the controller's dead. All right, we're back. Octi disaster class. What happened in the game I love? Najee gets it to the 10. L streamer. I'm sorry for disappointing you guys. I won't let it happen. What just happened? There we go. As I was trying to say before I was rudely interrupted by EA Sports, I apologize for disappointing you guys, and I will not let it happen again. Nice block by Najee. Nice touchdown, Lamar to Chig Okonkwo, who played his college ball at the University of Maryland. Najee Harris made that play with the block, I think on Parsons. And Lamar is able to make the throw. Jet sweeps to Devontae, screens to Jarvis Landry. What in the Arthur Smith is this? And they still scored, to their credit. Westlake legend. Are there any Hornet legends on the field? I don't think so. Here returns the Raven offense. They nearly had a big touchdown on the last drive, but Xavier Howard had other plans. Here's Javonte Williams. Javonte was playing really well before Derrick Henry came around, and both Henry and Javonte are free agents at the end of the year. I'm really curious to see how the Ravens choose to handle it. Is Derrick Henry a rental? Is he going to stick around? Do both running backs stick around? There's Treylon Burks, who's had a really strong year. Okonkwo was that one guy in Season 1 for Maryland who went off with any quarterback. They had him a little bit at fullback, didn't they, Maryland? There's Isaiah Likely again. He has like 3 or 4 catches already. Yeah, he has 4 of Bryce Young's 5 completions. I did not say Treylon Burks. I said Treylon Burks. Maybe it came out like Trayvon, but that's obviously not what I said. You know what I meant. English can be hard. Ooh, RPO, and it works. Treylon Burks. Treylon. Not Vaughn. Lon. With the play. Marlon Humphrey brings him down. It's also a reunion for Marlon Humphrey as well. So many reunions here. Holy cow. Derrick Henry gets nothing. Henry's been quiet so far. It's early. He wasn't overly impressive when we saw him the first time with the Steelers in Watched. But in Sim, he's been arguably the best running back in the league. He's been right up there with Sean Tucker and Mixon and all those other guys. But in Watched, I feel like there's been a lot left to be desired from him. 2-minute warning. Rams lead 7-0. A rare low-scoring game. I feel like every game this cycle has been high-scoring. It's honestly a little refreshing. Although, who doesn't like offense? 3rd and 6. Don't forget, Joe Mixon was the second name I said. I definitely did not forget him. There's Likely again. Bengal legend. Not just a Dragon legend, but Bengal legend. Houday. There's Likely again. Are we sure it's not Puma Whitlock under center who's making all these decisions? Are we sure? Likely has 6 catches. The rest of the team has 2. There's another one for Likely. Holy cow. The Ravens are chewing clock. That's actually smart. Rare EA clock W, because they have 3 timeouts. They are in no reason to rush. They should call a timeout, though, yeah. Don't rush, but also don't move like that slow. Bryce Young fires for guess who? Isaiah Likely. His, 8th catch of the half, I think? And it's a touchdown, and they tie it. Didn't realize we had middle school Puma Whitlock in the game. Flip Bryce Young's number, it's 6. Yeah, close enough. Isaiah Likely merchant, apparently. Don't forget, who had the big touchdown against the Chargers last stream? Who caught the pass from Bryce Young? It was Isaiah Likely. Do we have our new Greg Dulcich? On one hand, I really like Isaiah Likely, so I'm happy it's him. But on the other hand, can it not be one of my biggest rivals who gets this year's reincarnation of Watch Game Dulcich? Although, Greg Dulcich himself is also making a case to be that because he's also been really good. Puma Whitlock Jr. at 13 years old throws a touchdown to Isaiah Likely. Like father, like son. As we're tied at 7. Going into the half. Can the new Greg Dulcich be Kyle Pitts? It has to be somebody who's not good. Or not good, all things considered. Kyle Pitts is like too overpowered. I would throw Dallas Goedert's hat in the ring, but he's too highly rated. It's not allowed to be him. Both teams have not been able to run the ball at all. You'd think with Najee Harris, Derrick Henry, 2 good run games, and Lamar Jackson, who's been completely ineffective in the option game. Oh, wow, a pass caught by somebody other than Isaiah Likely. It's Javonte Williams who hauls it in. Greg Dulcich is the new Watch Game Dulcich. I think right now it's between Dulcich and Likely. I think it's those 2. Greg Dulcich was really good in both Bears games. I don't remember him being this good. But he also has 2 games of sample size, whereas Likely has a half and then the touchdown against us. There's Likely again. I think that's either 9 or 10. I've lost count. 9. For 66 and a score. Oh, nearly intercepted. That was a touchdown if he caught it. Nate Hobbs, responsible driver. 9 for 66 is a very Dulcich-esque stat line, but keep in mind, there's 7 minutes left in the third. He's going to continue to get the ball. Case in point. His 10th catch of the game. He's averaging 7 yards a catch, but still. 3rd and 6. Incomplete. The Rams get the stop. Isaiah Likely can't carry that hard, apparently. Both of these offenses have been really unimpressive. Like, it's cool that Isaiah Likely has 10 catches. He's obviously been really good. But nobody else on the Ravens has impressed me on that side of the ball. And then the Rams have not carried over the success that they had running the ball in Week 1 against Seattle. Both of these teams look really stagnant. Najee Harris gets 1. I thought that was going to be an option. Micah Parsons did not think so, and he was right. Here's Devontae Parker, nearly gets the first down. The one impressive thing offensively, other than obviously Isaiah Likely, Lamar Jackson has been really good as a passer. I don't think Joe Thuney being gone really makes that much of a difference. I mean, he's a left guard. How much do left guards make an impact in watched? Maybe a little bit, but not anything insane. There's Jalen Waddle. His first catch in a while. I think he probably has like 2 today. I feel like he had 1 earlier. Yeah, 2 for 35. That was a good play, though. Jet sweep loses yards. Khalil Mack. The sack attack in the purple and black brings him down. Lamar's going to scramble. He runs by 2 linemen. He finds just the narrowest hole, pause, and takes full advantage. He gets 9. Good play. Now it's a 3rd and 2. This is a big play. If the Rams can get this, they can really start to get something going. If not, they are kind of in 4-down territory, though, so I would watch for them to look to go for it. But it won't matter. Najee Harris gets 7. And the drive will continue to move. Lamar with another nice throw. Waddle again. He's starting to make an impact on this drive, and right as I'm casting him up, he's hurt. Poor guy. Is he going to the locker room? No, so he'll be fine. That could have been bad news. Lamar's under pressure. Vita Vea in the backfield. That's a big man coming after him. As he's incomplete. Now on 2nd down. Risky throw. Good pass. Caught at the 8 by Chigo Okonkwo, who had the touchdown for the Rams earlier. And they're getting close. I don't know how much I trust them in short yardage situations. They haven't exactly ran the ball well today. Play action. 15's open. Ford gets sacked. Damone Clark, Dragon Legend. Ow, my hamstring. Brings him down. If the Caps get the number 1 pick, what do you do? Do you stick and pick, or do you trade the pick for a high price? That's a really good question, because C.J. Stroud was their first rounder. So obviously Jax really believes in him to be the quarterback. He can get this. Yeah, he's in. Nice play. Rams are on top. If I was the Caps and got the number 1 pick, I would certainly gauge the market and see what I can get. I would have to imagine you can get a king's ransom, and if you can, go for it. But if Warren Flowers is like a Daniel Godley type of talent, unless I'm getting the absolute house, I would strongly consider keeping it. CJ Stroud's going to get you some good stuff. But I would think somebody would come up with a good enough offer to where the Caps probably traded and feel really good about their return. Half the league seems to want a quarterback. Somebody's going to pony up and give up a bunch of draft picks and a bunch of players. Dan had better talent than Godley. I mean a Godley type of prospect. Yes, Dan was better. But Godley was a 90. Dan was like an 82. When perchance can I get back into coaching? Well, you can put yourself on the waiting list. There aren't any open teams now, obviously. There aren't any specific coaches who, at the moment, I feel like are in jeopardy. But by the end of the year, that could change. So, if you want back in, I would put my name on the waiting list. Dan was he was an 86? I thought he was like an 82, 83, maybe an 84. Huh. Still, Godley was the better prospect, even if Dan was the better player. How's Anthony Richardson doing? It's been a mixed bag. Bryce looking downfield. It's broken up. Good coverage. That was a nice throw. Jesse Bates with the deflection. So you're saying Godley was a bust? No, Godley threw for 120,000 yards. There's a difference between being a bust and being as good as Dan. Dan was the MVP of the league. Daniel Godley was really good. Did he live up to expectations? No, probably not. But he wasn't like a bust. Need to fix the X Factor issue. What's the issue? Is there a problem? He's been playing like an X Factor today. He's been flying over the field. Najee actually gets blocks. Gets a good gain of around 13. Yeah, Godley was underwhelming, but he was not a bust at all. Underwhelming considering the expectations. Why doesn't Bryce... Did he not have a superstar? When I was going through the depth chart, I saw that he played enough snaps. So he has unlocked his superstar. What is the game doing? Why would he not have it? Connor Weston on the Bengals would not have won jack squat. Connor Weston sucked. I get he played on the Colts, who were pretty bad. But for a quarterback of his rating, because he did develop into like the high 90s, he was really not good. He doesn't have an ability because he's not a 75. Oh, okay. He's probably like right there. I think he's a 74. But that would explain a lot. The Flowers hype is going to go all down. He's going to show how trash he is. Oh, okay. For Warren Flowers' sake, I hope he's not hated as much as Daniel Godley. Nearly intercepted. Both teams with dropped pick sixes. Julius Brent, the rookie out of Kansas State. Ew. Average Kansas State football player drops a pick six. Weston was throwing to Justin Jefferson. And he had Kenneth Walker, who was the all-time OFL leading rusher on his team. So he was not exactly throwing to firemen. As that's going to be a defensive pass interference on Kenny Moore, acquired from the Voyagers. The pick slider definitely has to go up, but I will say, at least it's been even. Both teams have dropped a pick six, so it's fair. But, you're right, it absolutely has to go up. I meant to change it after the last game, but I'll do it after this one. The Colts had two really good players on offense. You had the best, statistically, yardage-wise, the best running back in the cycle. Kenneth Murray was the Daniel Godley of OFL running backs. And Justin Jefferson. Nice touchdown by Lamar, his second of the game on the ground. Third all-purpose. And the Rams are up 21-7. But no, Connor Weston did not have trash on his team. You can say what you want about Godley. You can say he was underwhelming. He wasn't a bust. But to call him underwhelming is very fair. He absolutely cleared Connor Weston. I meant Kenneth Walker, obviously, not Kenneth Murray. Frank really ain't going to say GG. Well, the game's not over. There's 7.5 minutes. I get it's not looking good for the Ravens, but there's still time on the clock. A lot of time. Derrick Henry finally with a good run. Weston would have been throwing to J-Mo, Devontae Adams, Deshaun Groves, and Josh Jacobs. That's obviously better, but Daniel Godley's numbers were considerably better enough than Weston's to where I think we can still comfortably say that Godley was better. Like, you can't... We've never punished Mahomes for having Travis Kelce. I get that Travis Kelce's not as good this year, but like in the past, we never punished him for that. Dan on the OFL 23 Bills, Smirnoff on the OFL 23 Cowboys, or Godley on the Niners? That's actually a good question. Nice throw to Burks. Because the Niners were the best of those three teams, but Godley was also the worst quarterback. I think if you put those two QBs on the Bills and the Cowboys, I think by default, they probably do pass the Niners, just because they were probably the two best QBs we've had. Of those two teams, who would be better? That's a tough question. Because I feel like I hold the Bills and the Cowboys in pretty much the same regard. And I hold those two quarterbacks evenly. If I had to pick, my life depended on it, the Martians had the death beam pointing at Earth, and you gotta hit it, other than Iguodala, I think I would pick Smirnoff and the Cowboys for the sole reason that he can just lob it up to Mike Evans. Nice play by Rashad Bateman. Bengal legend, Houday. Viking legend, Skull. The OFL 23 Cowboys with consistent quarterback play would be unstoppable, but you can say the exact same about the Bills. The same applies. Smirnoff versus Nick. Apple, you remember the time where Alexei Smirnoff threw up the Hail Mary in the divisional round in the snow on fourth down against one? You remember that, right? Here's Bryce Young. He's going to look to run with it. Is progressive fatigue gone? It shouldn't be. I don't think it is. If the Seahawks miss out on Flowers, would y'all still draft a quarterback or stick with Howell? Unless like one of the other quarterbacks, like Jaime Calhoun, is really good, I would strongly consider sticking with Howell, assuming I can either A, get a total stud at pick 2 or whatever, or trade out. I think I would roll with Howell unless I fell in love with one of the QBs, which in that case I would go with the quarterback. What about Hector Sr. on the OFL 23 Seahawks with Gibby, Amari, Lockett, Tyreek, and Hawk? That team would be nasty. I think the Seahawks obviously were worse than those other teams mentioned. And Hector, as good as he wasn't on the level that Dan and Smirnoff were, but that team would still be filthy. That team would run away with the OFL Bowl this season. As Javonte gets into the 2, they're close. If the Ravens score a touchdown, I've heard that sometimes the game goes for 2. I'm curious to see if they do, because they should. They talked about the reasoning in the Bucs game when they were down by 14 and scored. But logistically, when you're down by 8, go for 2. Well, first of all, they got to score. Okay, well, there's the score. Logan Thomas! And they're going to review it. The real what if is, what if the OFL 22 Browns had elite running back play? That's also a good question. Imagine them with Chargers Sean Tucker. Or better yet, Bengals Josh Jacobs. I think he's in, yeah. Go for 2, no balls. Boo. That's the wrong call. They should have gone for 2. And it's now 21-14. The Rams have not ran the ball very well today. But they've still got Najee Harris. They've still got Lamar Jackson. Let's see if they can finish off the game or if the Ravens get one more drive. Imagine the OFL 21 Colts without the Diablos. Did the Colts ever make it to the conference championship? I know they should have the year the Cougars won it. That game was hilarious. That was, I think, the most depressing ending in OFL history. Even worse than the Hail Mary. That was so sad. Oh, he dropped it. Big hit. For Jalen Petrie. Bengal legend, Houday. I just realized the Ravens have 2 former Bengal safeties. Jalen Petrie and Nick Cross. The Gagne's back together. Now you just got to get Trayvon Merrick. And Chidobe Awuzie. Went to the AFC chip twice. Okay, so yeah, I guess you would have made a bowl. 3rd and 4. Lamar's in the zone. Under pressure. Throws the screen into the ground. Baltimore gets the stop. No time is taken off the clock, essentially, and they can tie it. You lost both to us. Okay, so that would have been the 2 years that we made it. You guys made it in Eddie Small's rookie year? Wow. That would mean the conference championship would have been rookie Phil Chippendale against rookie Eddie Small. And then the last year when those guys were in their prime, season 5. Bryce Young rocked in the pocket. He connects with Metcalf. Bryce Young's heating up at the right time. DK's just second catch of the game. Both of the second-round receivers have been underwhelming. Metcalf and Waddle, albeit Waddle got hurt. There's Burks, breaks a tackle inside the 40. The momentum is changing fast. Chris Jones has goal line stuff instead of inside stuff. Okay, I'll make the switch. 2-minute warning. Deepest and best receiving core. No. Nothing beats the Browns receiving core in OFL 22 when they had Chase, Waddle, Devontae Smith. I think they had Tyreek Hill, Juju. There might be somebody I'm forgetting. Isaiah Thomas was basically a wide receiver out of the backfield. Tommy Tremble was Greg Dulcich before Greg Dulcich. That's the greatest receiving core in OFL history, and I don't think it's close. And they still couldn't get out of the second round, except when they had Matt Corral. There's Metcalf to the 18. Ravens are getting close. Bryce Young throws it away, stops the clock. Still at 1:04, and both teams have all 3 timeouts. So clock is not an issue for the Ravens, but on the flip side, if the Rams get it back with like 40 seconds, if the Ravens do score, they're going to have time. They had Chase, Smith, Hill, Cooper, and Juju. Okay, so Waddle, you had Waddle, but he left. And then you replaced him with Amari Cooper, which really isn't much worse. And they didn't even make the playoffs with Russell Wilson. They missed the playoffs? Holy cow. Derrick Henry gets nothing, 4th and 3. Why don't they use a timeout? 15 seconds left. This might be the game. Bryce for the end zone. It is incomplete. That ball was in between the receiver and the defensive back for about 7 seconds. But Nate Hobbs makes the play. The Ravens have 3 timeouts, but it doesn't matter. There's 9 seconds. If the Rams run enough plays for 9 seconds, they'll be fine. Best case, the Ravens get like a punt return. Lamar should just like throw the ball up out of bounds. That'll waste time. Okay, they get the first. Whatever, it's fine. The Rams beat the Ravens. Baltimore's won 7 in a row, but they fall deep. That doesn't even make sense. They fall here and watch to the Rams, who have won 8 of 10. With a statement win in Baltimore, and the Rams, it appears they are for real. Do y'all remember what happened to Eastmoot? He defended anti-Semitism. People seem to think that Eastmoot said it. He didn't, but he defended it, and that was also like the last straw for him. He had done a lot of things at that point. Bryce Young was overall unimpressive, but he was really good in the 4th. As for Lamar, pretty strong game. Didn't do a whole lot on the ground. He did score twice late. I guess neither of the other teams did much of anything on the ground. Najee and Henry were both underwhelming. Isaiah Likely, 10 for 70. He didn't catch a pass after the 7-minute mark in the 3rd quarter. Oddly enough. Defensively, I thought the Ravens' front played really well. They had a handful of sacks. They were obviously great against the run. But the offense wasn't good until down the stretch. And so the Rams get the job done. What else did Eastmoot do? He was just kind of like overall, for lack of a better term, cancerous, I would say. It looks like Jalen Waddle is fine. He's all good. Yeah, Eastmoot was just, he was a lot. All right, let's sim. May the sim gods be in your favor, except if you're the Broncos. Ravens lost, obviously. The Hogs, with a big response, they beat the Bengals 28-0. Check my dev up. Oh, I forgot to. That's fine though. We'll check if Jamin Davis completed like the necessary things. I'll give him superstar. Don't worry. We lost. No. Oh, this pleases me. I didn't want to look, but I'll take it. That's a good sign. Drew Lock was horrible, by the way. This guy Eastman would always ask me for OFL advice. Eastman was like barely even a coach here, though. Seattle, 63-0 again against the Niners. Holy cow. Trevor Lawrence only threw 4 touchdowns this time, while Michael Thomas had a passer rating of 0.9. That's 0.9 better than OFL 20 Josh Allen had in that wild card game where Nick played against Apple. Joe Mixon with a big game, 3 touchdowns. Stat padding, though. Cooper Kupp played really well. Gardner Minshew allowed 2 sacks. 16 tackles for Jelani Tavai. And 2 interceptions for Justin Simmons. Pittsburgh. Oh! Yikes! They got blasted by the Huskies, 37-7. Well, this makes me feel a lot better about Jalen Hurts throwing 2 picks and keeping them in the game last week. Will Levis was a train wreck. Are we sure this isn't a Tajay Sharp, Michael Thomas, DJ Reader quarterback stat line? Kyler Murray, meanwhile, played pretty well. Greg, where's Dortch? He only caught 2 passes. Did the Seahawks have the best offense of 23 between the early Mahomes, Debo, Hawkinson teams to eventually Bryce, Gibson, Tyreek, Lockett, Amari, Hawk? Definitely up there. I mean, you had more consistent quarterback play than, say, Buffalo and the Cowboys, as the Titans beat the Dildos by 1, and the Dildos win streak comes to a close. Titans hold on to first place in the South. The Voyagers can certainly help themselves out. I already saw how the Jets did, based on Nick's reaction. And the Voyagers lost to Kansas City! Everybody in the AFC East lost except for Toronto. Sean Watson was not good. The Chiefs are 2-0 today. I think they have 5 wins now. Why are the Chiefs winning games? The Dildos lost. The Bears beat the Lions 21-12. Todd sweeps Lenny. The Nick Foles fun has quickly crashed down. He's picked off 3 times. Two interceptions for Josh Metellus. Bengals got clapped. The Knights beat the Raiders 56-0. I'm curious to see Anthony Richardson's numbers. Yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. Tajay Sharp, not so good. He played about as well as Will Levis did. Pop Pacheco was pretty solid. Amon-Ra St. Brown did his thing. Do I remember Nicolo DiMaggio? I do. Get the broom out, boys. Sweeping up the Lions and the Knights. How did Todd's division be as easy as it is, at least this year? Oh, wow! The Browns beat the Blues. The sky is falling in St. Louis, while the Browns win their 3rd game of the year. This is one of the biggest upsets of this season, I feel like. Who saw this coming? The Browns apparently can't even tank right. Broncos country! Let's cry! Chargers win in overtime. 30-24. Stop with the picks, buddy. We need to calm down with the interceptions. But a win's a win. Tua did not play all that well. Where are all the touchdowns, Sean? You have a record to break. What are you doing? So the Chargers, for the first time pretty much all year, are in first place of the AFC West. Albeit we're tied, but we had the tiebreaker as of now. Hurts is not... When did I ever say Hurts was better than Lamar Jackson? I don't think I ever said that, ironically enough. Carolina beats the Bulls. Right? Did I read it correctly? Yes, I did. Okay. Jared Goff played well and the Bulls lost, which is about as normal as it gets for them. We need to beat the Bengals, Dreads, and Lions for a chance. It's possible. I don't know if it's likely, but it's possible. How is this team so bad? I don't get it. Now they lose to Atlanta. So the Falcons are going to hold on to the number 1 seed. Oh my lord. CJ Stroud was abysmal. For the Warren Flowers to Rio conversation, I think it's finally might have picked up steam here. And it looks like Brock Purdy got hurt. Mike White came in and was about as bad as Stroud. What a weird game. Why are the Caps so terrible? I don't get it with them. I do not get it. Cardinals. Bye week. Chargers won. Bolt up. Chiefs won. Commies had a bye week. The Condoms beat the Jets. Rough start for New York. They went all... Oh! Dak got injured. Dorian Thompson-Robinson came in and played well, but they still lost. The Dorian Thompson-Robinson to the Jets playoff arc is going to be cinema. Dak is probably going to be fine knowing this game, but Dorian Thompson-Robinson leading the Jets to a wildcard spot would be objectively hilarious. The Cowboys get slaughtered by the Eagles. It seems like Philadelphia's starting to play a lot better. P.J. Walker, meanwhile, threw 5 picks. Temple legend. Joe Thuney will go back to left guard. The game puts players back where they belong with injuries. It's just trades where they don't. Went from Dak and Chubb to DTR and Hunt. So basically, the real-life Browns. The Dreads beat the Giants. So the Eagles are now officially in first place of the NFC East. Geno played really well, though. In a week where we've had some really bad quarterback play. Falcons won, Niners won, Giants lost, Huskies won, Jets lost, Lions lost, Panthers won, Raiders obviously lost, and that brings us back to the Rams. The breakout thing might have only showed up for last week, didn't it? Yeah, but we can check it. We can check his stats. The Ravens did get at least 200 yards, so he would need 2 TFLs, sacks, interceptions, or fumble forces combined, and if he did, I'll move him up. He did not. No breakout challenge for Jamin Davis. Players of the week. Anthony Richardson, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Metellus, and Talanoa Hufanga. Let's check on Dak before we get into Week 15, because I'm very curious about this. Normally, QB injuries really... That's the wrong button. QB injuries really don't last that long in this game, but... it's possible. Okay, he's fine. We will not get the Dorian Thompson-Robinson playoff arc. Ooh, Week 15. You guys made a good choice here. This is one of the biggest games of the regular season so far. Atlanta versus Carolina. Both teams are 10-3. Tied for first in the NFC South. Atlanta's currently the number 1 seed. They had the tiebreaker over Carolina because they beat them back in Week 1. Can Carolina even the tiebreaker and, more importantly, take the lead in the division? Or can Atlanta not only get the lead, but sweep them? As the number generator lands on 2. Are either the Panthers or the Falcons currently present? The Panthers is here. How about Atlanta? I don't think Troy is. Carolina's my OFL Bowl NFC pick. Make me look smart. But what jerseys would you like in the case that we hop in? Oh, sliders. I have to change sliders. Hold on. Have any teams clinched, by the way? Probably not. No. And then still the Caps, Seahawks, Raiders in that order at the bottom. All right, I think I'm going to move pass blocking down by, like, probably 5. And then interceptions is going to go up by probably a similar number. I don't want to push it up too much. Maybe more than 5. Yeah, 23, and then we'll do 65. That's a round, easy number. How are we not clinched? That's a good question. I imagine you were, like, unbelievably close. Yes, you need a win or both of these teams to lose. Actually, not even the Lions, because you swept them. You need a win or a Dreadnoughts loss, and you're set. After the stream, make sure my glorious boo-boo... Whoa, the glazing is crazy. That's wild. Loss to the Dreads. Even so, even with a Dreads loss or a win, you still would have a better record with them. Where's the color rush? There we go. The Ravens are probably close, but definitely not as close as the Bears, because the Bears division sucks. And they're probably not as close as these two teams, because the AFC is deeper. The Ravens are closer to clinching the division than either one of these teams, because, well, they're tied. But the AFC is deeper than the NFC, so the Ravens probably clinch it by the end of the stream, but I don't think it happens this week. Maybe week 16 if all goes well. All right, here we go. Maybe the biggest game of the regular season so far. Why is Mike White... Wait, Brock Purdy got hurt, remember? Not just Dak. Brock Purdy's injured. Broken ribs. He's out 3 weeks. So Mike White is starting for Atlanta in their biggest game of the year, as Carolina leads 3-0. Josh Allen might be the MVP is right. I think it's still him and Lamar as the top two. Atlanta's winning with Mike White. Carolina ties it, though. Into the third. A lot of turnovers, it looks like. Atlanta with a field goal. We're going to move slower. We're not going to hop in yet. At the 1, they're in. There's still 7 minutes left. Since we have 5 weeks to go through, I think we're going to simcast this drive. They have it at the 34. I think we can hop in now. Did that say Kyle Allen was sacked? What happened to Mike White? Did Mike White get hurt too? Is Kyle Allen at quarterback now for the Atlanta Falcons? Are they running read options with Kyle Allen? What is going on? So they're down to their 3rd string quarterback, apparently. Kyle Allen versus Josh Allen. Kyle Allen hasn't been that bad. Mine's a pick. There's Dalton Kincaid. Allen for the end zone. It's dropped. Apparently 65 is not high enough for the interception slider. Christian Gonzalez had a hand on it. Second and 10. Here's James Cook. Leveled, but he gets 5. Atlanta needs a touchdown. They cannot settle for a field goal because they're down by 4. The Kinkmeister. Okay, forgot. You're right. Sko Ducks for Gonzalez. White for the end zone. It's caught. The Falcons take the lead. Hunter Renfrow with the score. And the Atlanta Falcons, down to their 3rd string quarterback, are beating Carolina in their biggest game of the year. This is a big drive for Josh Allen. He's right up there in the MVP race, probably 1 or 2. It's time to show why. The first time we watched the Panthers this year, did I say Kyle Allen? I meant Josh. You know what I meant. The hard-working daughter daters getting it done. These blue-collar, sneaky athletes making plays. Did I call him Mike White? I'm getting confused. It feels like the Falcons are getting a new quarterback every 3 minutes, and that's because they are. Short throw, first down. That'll move the chains. Allen's numbers on the day look fine. Only 17 of 28. Maybe not MVP level, but he hasn't been bad. Hopefully this time Josh Allen's kicker does not miss wide right. Who is the Panthers kicker? I don't know off the top of my head. Maybe we'll find out. Allen has Devontae Adams. There's another guy whose jersey number was changed by the game, by the way. 6 for $111. Not a bad game for Devontae. Now 2nd and 7. Why did he run out of bounds? He took like 3 steps. He absolutely could have turned upfield. That's Taysom Hill. Because Josh Allen... Oh, yeah, you're right. I'm slow. The Micah Parsons one doesn't make sense, but that one does. Ooh, incomplete. Broken up in the secondary by Juan Thornhill. What do you do? 4th and 5. They're going to go for it. I think down by 3, this is probably the right call. You have it at the 46. I think I would go for it here. Allen with a strike. It's caught for a first down. Big play. Big time throw into the hands of Marquise Goodwin. Can I move Micah's number to 11 after the stream? I can, because 94 is just... It's foul. Final play before the 2-minute warning. There's Devontae. He gets 4. They are in field goal range. I imagine they would like more than a field goal. If you give Kyle Allen the ball last, he's probably going to win the game for you. Devontae's wide open. Okay, well then he wasn't wide open. Don't listen to me, Josh. It looked like he was open. I guess the safety kind of had him. But Cade Otton makes the play instead. And the Panthers are continuing to move it. 94, yeah, but like, Micah Parsons doesn't look right in something other than 11. 360 no scope by Mr. Allen. I should specify which Allen, by Josh Allen. 2nd and 10, there's Davante Adams, has it inside the 10. He has like 150 yards at this point, right? He's got to be. 135, okay, close enough. MP versus Little Jog. Coughing Baby meets Defunct Hydrogen Bomb. Clock is ticking, as they should. They should tick this clock away. It's like how Josh Giddey only looks right in 15. That means more things than one, kids. 2nd and goal. He got it! Josh Allen fires to... Who is that? I don't know who that is. But he just made a nice grab for a touchdown. And the Panthers take the lead with a minute on the clock. And Karl Malone only looks like right in 13, according to, of course, Kyle Malone. Kyle Malone. Not Kyle Malone. Karl Malone. English is hard. So Josh Allen with an MVP-level drive, proving why he should win it. Now it's time for Kyle Allen to do the same. You know, if we go off of high school rankings, Josh Allen was about as good as Kyle Allen, and Kyle Allen was about as good as Josh Allen. Maybe, just maybe, the roles will be reversed and Kyle Allen can finally live up to his potential. They need 75 yards, though. They got all 3 timeouts. Kyle Allen might run with it. He's going to take it off, diving for 6. Don't mix up Karl Malone and Karl Malone, future Charger. I may never beat the allegations if I draft Karl Malone, right? Good defense by 25. Strap him. Now it's 3rd and 4. Play action. Boink, incomplete, and it comes down to this. 4th and 4, games on the line. Quandre Diggs with the deflection. Don't mix up Karl Malone and Karl Marx either. If I'm the Niners, who should I root for? That's a good question. You should root for both of these teams to lose. Incomplete. Carolina will beat Atlanta. And the Panthers take possession of first place in the South, and they even up the season series. Did Atlanta go down to their 3rd-string quarterback and nearly win the game? Yes, they did. But the Panthers hang on and survive, and are now 11-3, which probably clinches a wild card spot, or at least close to. Josh Allen played really well. The Falcons' QBs, plural, were not abysmal, considering, it's Mike White and Kyle Allen. Davante Adams with a big game, one of his best of the year. Big game for Kayvon Thibodeau. I have my hopes partly resting with the Caps. I'm sorry to hear that. You guys are I don't know if you will clinch with this, but barring something crazy, you're going to be in the playoffs. 11-6 in the NFC should be more than enough. So even if you lose out, I think you'll be fine. Would they clinch with this? Let's see. Oh, yes, they would. Never mind. Carolina's in. The Bears clinched the division with a win, and Atlanta's basically in as well, because the 7th seed is 7-6. So Carolina is the first team to clinch a playoff spot. Let's see what happened to Mike White. Dislocated ankle. He's out 8 weeks. So for the next 2 games, Atlanta has Kyle Allen, their third stringer at quarterback, and if he gets injured, then they're probably going to turn it over to the kicker. I hope Atlanta plays against the Raiders or Seattle. That would be funny. Alrighty. Week 15. May the Sim Gods be in your... Oh, we're starting with the Raiders. Oh, God. The Raiders play us. I'm a little nervous. I can't lie. I mean, I'll take it. We won by a lot, but we could have done more. We let him throw a touchdown on us? What is wrong with this team? Sean Tucker didn't even do that well. What is happening? I mean, a win's a win. I'll take it. But, like, jeez. We can't say get owned. We won by 30. That was our chance to stat pad, though. I feel like we failed. The Rams beat the Commies. Lamar didn't even throw for 100 yards, and they still won. Three sacks for Chris Jones. Ravens beat the Blues. The sky is not only falling in St. Louis, but it's turned, like, poop brown. They stink all of a sudden. Right when I trade their draft pick, they stink. Bryce Young played out of his mind. And the Ravens are back in business. They are now 11-3. The Hogs beat the Steelers. Pittsburgh starting to fall apart too. So the Ravens can probably clinch the division this upcoming week. Will Levis did play better, I guess. Seattle loses 49-0. 6 touchdowns for Kirk Cousins. He's on fire. The Steelers lost. Titans beat the Condoms. So the Titans, they're in a good spot to clinch this division. Now that they're up by 2 games over the Blues. Voyagers lose to the Cowboys. What is happening in the AFC East? Why do these teams all of a sudden stink? Deshaun Watson wasn't very good. Hopefully the Voyagers don't come into next week pissed off because they play, well, us. 3 sacks for Ogbania Okoronkwo. The Dildos beat the Jets. So I think this means the Dildos are in first place. And the Jets, they really stink. Nick Chubb has clearly proven to be very valuable. Although Kareem Hunt did play pretty well. Niners, Rams in Week 17 could be for the division. Well, it's a shame that game lost. The Bears have clinched the division. They beat the Browns 38-10. Baker Mayfield, 3 touchdowns. Tyler Huntley, 3 picks. Darius Davis with over 100 yards. Why? 2 sacks for Zadarius Smith. Bengals beat the Knights 27-20. This Bengals team has been so weird today. Can we have some consistency? Jacoby Myers with a big game. 2 sacks for Drew Sanders, cementing his Defensive Rookie of the Year. The Knights lost. The Blues stink. They've lost 4 or 5. Broncos country! Let's cry! Denver gets clobbered by the Lions. Thank you, Lenny. So the Chargers are now a full game over for Broncos in the West. And we have the tiebreaker as of now. So if we beat Denver in Week 17, we win the division no matter what. Well, that's fantastic. The Browns lost. The Bulls lose to the Giants. Gino played pretty well again. I'm a big Nick Foles fan right now. So you've missed the playoffs. I don't think you're eliminated, but it would take pretty much a miracle. Lenny's messing up his draft position. Yeah, we're both happy. The Dreadnoughts nearly lose to the Caps. The Caps might actually get the #1 pick. This is no longer a pipe dream. This might actually happen. How is it that two teams tank so hard and neither of them get it? Cardinals beat the Niners. San Francisco's starting to implode. I think the Rams might be in first place. Trevor Lawrence and Russell Wilson with 4 touchdowns and 2 interceptions each. Saquon Barkley with 216 yards. 2 interceptions for Justin Simmons and 2 for Devin Witherspoon. Chargers bolt up with a win. The Chiefs have won 4 in a row. What is happening? What? They're 4-1 with Josh Rosen. Or something like that. He played well. They should have never benched Bailey Zappi. Because he's messing up their draft position. The Niners are starting to suck. Good thing they had their first... Ooh. No, they don't. They'll be fine this year, though. He was indeed chosen, apparently. The Eagles have scored 38, 35, and 49 today, might I add. That's probably everybody. Yup. The Chiefs are making a late-season playoff push. I cannot wait for the 2-7 game between the Chargers and the Chiefs. Kirk Cousins, Bryce Young, Chris Jones, and Devin White win the Players of the Week. So we know that the Panthers are in, the Bears are in. We might have a couple other teams. Maybe Baltimore, maybe Atlanta. Nope, just the Panthers and the Bears. In the AFC North, the Ravens clinched the division with a win and a Steelers loss. In the South, the Titans can clinch the division this week with a win and maybe one of these teams losing. In the East, the Dildos and Voyagers are tied for first. The Dildos had the tiebreaker, and the Jets have fallen out of favor with missing Nick Chubb, while in the West, the Chargers are starting to take control. We're up by a game over the Broncos, and we had the tiebreaker. NFC North, the Bears have officially won the division. They've won 6 in a row, playing as well as just about anybody. Carolina's clinched a playoff spot. They now lead the South. The Eagles, they're hot. They're playing really well on the offensive side of the ball right now. They're 8-6. They lead the East. And then the Niners and Rams tied in the West. The Niners have the tiebreaker currently, and the Cardinals are only 1 back, while the order at the bottom is still Caps, Seahawks, Raiders. The Voyagers will never see the pearly gates for what they did. Well, I'll help you out with the Voyagers this week. Don't worry. We won't let them win. So here's the updated playoff picture. Ravens and Bears, #1. The Bears pass Atlanta. The Dildos move up to 4. All right, Week 16, we've got the Voyagers and the Chargers. 2 teams who are in very close fights within their division. Number generator lands on 2. That is the Chargers. The Bolts are 3-0 today. Let's see if we can keep the train rolling. Can I put... Yeah, DJ Reader's already starting. Don't worry, he's already there. What jerseys do we want to wear today? Let's go with the home option. Let's go with the light blue and the yellow pants. As for Voyagers, do we have any specific wants? So basically blue, white, or yellow. Does anybody have any major preferences? That thing said we played the Ravens this week. Oh, well, I hope you win for seeding. The Voyagers are 9-5, I think. All white. 1 vote for all white, 1 vote for piss yellow. What do the all blues look like? Yes. This is hard. Another vote. Let's see what the all white looks like. Okay, that actually looks kind of cool. And then let's see what the all yellow looks like. This is interesting. White, blue, or yellow? Todd switches to blue. I kind of want to see... Probably not yellow. I would say blue because our uniforms are bright. But the all-whites are kind of sick. Sure, we can do all-white. Yeah, that is really clean. I can't lie. All right. 3 weeks down, 2 to go on the day, 3 to go on the season. The Chargers are very close to clinching a playoff spot, as are the Voyagers. The Chargers are 10-4. We lead the AFC West, while the Voyagers are 9-5. They are in second place, tied for first, but they don't have the tiebreaker currently over the Armadillos. Go team. Every Charger game we've done this year has been primetime. Every single one. All 4 of them. Good start. Not good on offense. Okay. All right. Could have been better. Could have been worse. Tied at 7. Voyagers with a touchdown. They missed the kick. And we get a stop to end the first half, trailing 13-10. In the second half, tie it up. Defense with a stop. Into the fourth. The Voyagers have it at the 9. Defense, I beg. And the defense comes up short. Again, we'll start by simcasting. 3rd and 1. Incomplete. They're going to punt it. Oh, Lord. 3rd and 7. They got it. 3rd and 9. They don't get it. Let's hop in. Down by 7 with 5 minutes. Surely this cannot end poorly, right? The all-whites do go hard. What was that? That was a disastrous throw. Jeez, where was he going? 2nd and 10. Here's Sean Tucker. He's got room. Good run. This uniform matchup is sexy indeed. Muy caliente. Please give the ball to Sean. There's plenty of time. You have arguably the best running back in the league. Please use him. Okay, that works. Dallas Goedert with 8. Hurts' numbers on the day do not look very strong. Whatsoever. So let's hope he wakes up. 2nd and 2. Play action. Hurts downfield. Where was he going? Debo was smothered by 2 guys. 3rd and 2. Please run the ball. If you don't get it, run the ball again. You have Sean Tucker. It is Sean Tucker. And he gets it. Way to fight for yards. Good run. Now at the 37. Good throw. Debo. Laramie Tunsil's hurt. That's phenomenal. Just what the doctor ordered. And he's going to the locker room. Yippee. We might have to see Jason Peters play now. Good throw. Debo to the 14. Finally, a nice pass. And now the offense appears to be in business. 1st and 10. Hurts with a strike. What a catch! Dallas Goedert with 2 guys draped on top of him. With the touchdown. Whoa, what a catch. That's why I traded for him. Give him 34 back, but he's 44 now on the Bucks. It's pleased with 2 4s. As the kick is good, and the Chargers tie it at 20. A clutch offensive drive in watch. I do not believe it. Now, can the defense do the same? Are we sure that wasn't Tim Patrick? I traded for Goddard for him to help us out and watch games, and so far, that decision looks like a win. I still have to pay him, though. Big drive here for Deshaun Watson and the Voyagers. All they need is a field goal to take the lead. We've got some pass rushers. We've got some defensive backs. We've got some ball players on this team. Can some of them step up? Not on that play. as Josh Reynolds gets around 12. Watch Watson gives me PTSD. Well, hopefully we get Nighthawks Watson. Ooh, nearly intercepted. Deron Bland could have made a play there. I need Bland to get a couple more picks so he can go up in dev. That would have made my day if he caught that. 2nd and 10. Nearly intercepted again. This time Asante Samuel Jr. had it in his hands. Catch the ball, guys. I have defensive backs with high catching for a reason. The Bland one would have been tough. I guess both of them would have been tough, but still. 3rd and 10. Oh, wow. Of course they get it on 3rd and 10. Octi dreamed of having 16 picks. Bland. Lock in! To be fair, that was against the Raiders, though. Not against Deshaun Watson. They can chew clock at this point. Right? They should. Yeah, they are. Oh, no. I don't like this. Swift gets nothing. If we stop them, we're not going to have timeouts, but we're going to have time. 2nd and... Oh, well, there's the stop. He doesn't get it, but he's close. Our best hope can be that they don't get it and go for it. 3rd and 1. Yeah, he got it. This game is over. So it looks like the Voyagers are going to hang on to win here, barring something stupid. Which, I mean, if the Jets did it, why can't the Voyagers, right? Yes, an injury. Perfect. That's what we needed to stop the clock. I'm rooting for injuries. Clock sits at a minute 3. Injuries and incompletions, please. Or touchdowns. Let them in. No injury there. So they're going to run it all the way down to around 20 seconds. We need some EABS, please. Please. They're obviously going to run it here. He gets the first. Oh, perfect. They call a timeout with 11. And now they're going to kick. Okay. Not wasting any time, I see. Chip shot from around 22. That was like an ugly kick. It's good, though. 3-point game without 8 seconds. So realistically, we're hoping for a Hail Mary PI. Or a kick return. It's possible, but certainly not likely. At least we'll still be in first place no matter what. Of the division. Obviously not the conference. Give them blocks. Nope, not on the kick return, so we just need a Hail Mary. Jalen Hurts does not exactly have the arm to get it there, so we've got to hope for a penalty. He's in the zone. He's not even going to get rid of it. Yikes. Ugh. Poorly executed Hail Mary as the Voyagers squeak away from the Chargers 23-20. I will say, the last actual drive from us looked good, so I am a little encouraged. The defense sold, but we made some good plays. So honestly, I can live with this performance. I would have preferred to win, but we will still have first place of the division. That may change next week. That looked a little Mahomey. Just a little bit. All right, what happened to Tunzel? Oh, it looks like he's fine. All right, perfect. Let's sim. I see Denver's result. That's interesting. The Chiefs. Oh my goodness. Oh, they played the Raiders. Never mind. I was gonna say, how did this team score 50? But no, that's why. So the Chiefs have now won like 6 in a row. They picked the worst time to be good, but still. Commies. Beat the Jets. Oh, dear. Yeah, the Jets have officially fallen off the rails. Dak was not good. The season might be over for the Jets at this point. I don't think there's any coming back from this. They've lost 4 in a row. Javon Holland with 2 picks, though. Go Ducks. The Condoms beat the Browns 24-0. Joe Burrow was pretty good. Tyler Huntley was not. Travis Etienne played well. Dallas. They keep winning. What is happening in the AFC East? These teams are so weird. So the Voyagers are back in first. P.J. Walker throws 4 touchdowns. Kadarius Toney caught 10 balls. What a division. The Dreads get smacked by Carolina. Panthers win their 12th game of the year. The Eagles. They beat the Giants. So the Eagles are in prime position to win this division. If they beat the Giants earlier in the year, then I think they would clinch it. And they are starting to peak at the right time. Who would have thought trading their first-round fantasy draft pick was the issue? Oh, they played the Giants week 18. Oh, that's right. So they haven't clinched yet, but they're close. Falcons. They beat the Hogs with Kyle Allen at quarterback, and he outplayed Mahomes. Who would have thought? Kenny Clark, 2.5 sacks. The 49ers beat the Ravens. Baltimore with another loss. They now have 4. If we had won this week, we would have tied them. They would still have the tiebreaker, but still. That's unfortunate. Giants lost. CeeDee Lamb got half a sack. No way. So the Broncos beat the Huskies by 2. Come on, Toronto. Why couldn't you have finished off the job? And that sets up a pivotal Week 17 game between the Broncos and the Chargers. The winner clinches the division because Denver plays the Raiders Week 18. They're not going to lose that. So the winner takes the division. Pretty simple. The Jets have lost a bazillion in a row. The Lions lose to the Knights. Anthony Richardson, 3 touchdowns. Two interceptions for Derek Forrest. Carolina won. The Raiders, they've scored 21 points in the last 2 weeks. 30 in the last 4. The only team they got shut out by was London. The Rams beat the Bulls. Did we see this? I don't think we did. The Rams keep winning. Not many teams are playing better football than them right now. Do I clinch the 1 seed if I win this week and the Steelers lose? Probably not, because the Titans, I think, have 4 losses still. So the Titans could theoretically pass you. And they got to play Seattle, so there you go. Aaron Rodgers, 4 touchdowns. Michael Thomas, 4 interceptions. Michael Carter, 2 picks. Steelers beat the Bengals, 24-21. Check a Nolan Smith dev up. Why would he go up in dev? 3 TFLs and a sack is good, but it's not like insane. Let's calm down here. 3 sacks for Bosa. You have the tiebreaker over the Titans. How many losses do the Titans have? 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're still the 1 seed, but you're tied with the Titans. Did we see the Bears? I don't think we did. Oh, wow, they beat the Cardinals 38-0. Russell Wilson was abysmal, while Baker Mayfield got hurt. And Mitchell Trubisky came in and played pretty well. I guess that says something if the Cardinals lost 38-0 with a backup quarterback against them. Not ideal. The Blues finally win. They played the Caps, though. Columbus is 2 weeks away from getting the number... Not Columbus. Rio is 2 weeks away from getting the number 1 pick. Who would have thought? This is what Seattle and the Raiders deserve for handing teams free wins all year. Karma. Let the real teams be bad. I think that's everyone, yeah. The Raiders are going to pick 3rd after all this. That's so sad. Players of the Week. P.J. Walker, Bryce Young, Derek Forrest, and Quinnen Williams. Bryce Young won it with a loss. Interesting. What happened to Baker Mayfield? Nothing. He's fine. And then I'll check Nolan Smith. If it didn't happen, you owe me $20. Oh, wow, it's not here. Who would have thought? All right, final game of the day. We've got the Armadillos against the Ravens. Two teams coming off bad losses, looking for wins that landed on one. That is the Dildo. I forgot to look at standings. We should probably check that first. We'll do stats at the end. Don't worry. That includes MVP. How many more teams have clinched? The Falcons are in, the Niners are in, the Rams are in. 5 teams in the NFC have clinched, while nobody has in the AFC. That tells you all you need to know. In the North, the Ravens are only a game ahead of the Steelers. They play each other in Week 18. That game could theoretically decide the division. In the South, the Titans clinch the division with a win or a Blues loss. In the East, the Voyagers are a game ahead of the Armadillos, while the Jets are pretty much out of the race. The Chargers and Broncos are tied. Winner clinches the division. Because, again, the Broncos are not losing to the Raiders, and if we win, we will have the tiebreaker. Bears have already clinched the division. They're looking for the number 1 seed. The Panthers are as well, but they still need to clinch the division over Atlanta. The Eagles are close to clinching the East. They do so with a win. The Niners and Rams tied for first in the West. They play each other this week, so the winner of that game probably wins the division. Bengals' insanity run is here. For what, 7-10? Here's the playoff picture. Not many changes in the NFC. A little bit of movement in the AFC, though. The Voyagers are back in first. They climb up to third. We play next week. I thought you played... No, you play this week. Oh, no, you play next week. Never mind. I'm special. Well, that game might decide the division anyway. All right, what jerseys would we like, gentlemen? So if the Ravens win, they're in a good spot to get the number 1 seed. I don't think they clinch, but they're in a good spot. If they lose, then things get dicey. Not just for the number 1 seed, but the division as a whole. And Baltimore hasn't even clinched the playoffs yet. Obviously, they do with a win. Scroll through. Do you want all white? Actually, there's not white pants. Do you want red? What is that, cream or white? San Antonio loss would be great for the streets. What about black and red? I saw somebody suggest that. That probably looks cool. Or all red. Perfect. Yeah, they don't have black. What am I thinking? Never mind. All right, a massive Week 17 game here. The Dildos are currently the 7th seed. They are hanging on to their playoff lives in the AFC. And they're playing against the number 1 seeded Baltimore Ravens, who have looked spotty. They've lost 2 of their last 3. And they need a win. The Ravens have not clinched a playoff spot yet, despite being 11-4. Now, even if they lose out, they'll get in. They'll be fine. But they haven't been playing all that well. Massive game for both of these teams. Massive game for the Voyagers. They're rooting for Baltimore. The Steelers are rooting for Buenos Aires. That's the wrong button. We're simcasting, not watching. Defensive start. The Dildos score first. Strong start for the Armadillos. They lead 7-0, and they have the ball. And they get a field goal. Ravens clap back with 7, and then the Dildos get 7. And a field goal. They're up by 13 going into the second half. Are the Ravens falling apart right in front of their eyes? Maybe not. Dildos get a touchdown and a 2. They're up by 14 with the ball. So if they score here, they're going to win. Can you tell me how me and Dorch have done? I think you're either 1-3 or 2-2 today. I think you're 1-3. Yeah, we can go fast. This game is over. Wow, a statement win from the Buenos Aires Armadillos, who beat the Ravens 38-22. And the Ravens, who looked like the best team in the AFC, have lost 3 of 4. They can still get the number 1 seed, but they have really fallen apart. If the Steelers win this week, I think they play Seattle, so they're going to win. That means Week 18 between the Ravens and the Steelers decides the winner of the AFC North. Bryce Young, not good. Mac Jones was good. Mac Jones had a good stream. Give him credit. The Ravens and insanity, they're still 11-5. But, yeah, they're not playing too well. Imagine if the Ravens don't make the playoffs entirely. That would be wild. Still unlikely. May the Sim gods be in your favor, except for the Broncos. Amen. Team, I beg. I beg. Our division is on the line. Here we go. I'm scared. Guys, I'm scared. I don't know if I can look. Bears beat the Falcons. Chicago is 13-3. They are the number 1 seed with a win in Week 18. Kyle Allen was better than Baker Mayfield, though. Bengals beat the Chiefs 7-0. Okay. A lot of offense. The Chiefs' insanity run is over. They're now 7-9. I don't think the Chiefs had a chance at the playoffs anyway, but that's still funny. The Knights lose to the Dreadnoughts. They get smacked 42-14. Justin Fields played really well. Kyle Allen and Sim flirting versus Nathan Rourke and Sim harassment. How many games have you won in a row? A lot. I don't know the number. The Blues. They suck. They lose to the Panthers. This means the Titans have clinched the AFC South. They are the first team in the AFC to clinch the playoffs officially. Aaron Donald with a big game. 4 TFLs and a sack and a half. Broncos. Oh, God. Please. 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 Yes! The Chargers have won the AFC West. 40-28 over the Broncos. Tua and Jalen Hurts were both solid. Jalen Hurts had a very underwhelming stream, but we went 4-1, so I'm not going to complain. There we go, Sean Tucker. 4 touchdowns. He's at 22 on the year. If the Titans lose, then we're tied with both the Ravens and the Titans for the number 1 seed. Both of those teams beat us earlier in the year, though. So it looks like and the Voyagers beat us. All the good teams who are winning their division, we lost to. Tiebreakers suck. The Jets beat the Browns 28-21. Dak Prescott finally played well. Not that it matters. The Jets are out now, I think, at 8-8. If they were in the NFC, they'd still be alive, but, well, they're not. I think it's fair to say they miss Nick Chubb. And right when Nick Chubb comes back, fittingly, he was back, right? Or is that next week? Okay, maybe it's next week. Bulls. Oh my God, the Caps won! The Caps are not getting Warren Flowers. After all that, they win their first game since week 1. And it looks like Warren Flowers probably is going to Seattle, maybe the Raiders. So after all that, the Tankers, or one of the Tankers, will get rewarded. A generational fumble by the Caps. Man, the Bulls stink. The Cardinals lose to the Eagles. Arizona has fallen off the face of the earth. They probably will not make it. Meanwhile, the Eagles have clinched the division. What a stream for the Eagles, going 5-0 today. They have won the East. That division sucked for most of the year, and now the Eagles are going to be either 10-7 or 11-6, and they're going to be either 3rd or 4th. Chargers obviously won. Bolt up. Chiefs lost 7-0 after scoring 50. The Commies beat the Niners. San Francisco has not been playing well. Oh my Lord, Tommy DeVito with a perfect passer rating. Michael Gallup, 7 for 183 and 3. The Condoms lose to the Titans by 1. So Tennessee is in first place of the AFC. This means the Chargers cannot get the number 1 seed no matter what. It belongs to the Titans as of now. A generational bag fumble by Baltimore. Dallas loses to Detroit. Niners, yeah, you guys clinched. You're good. San Francisco's in. Dreadnoughts. The Titans are 12 and 4. Dreadnoughts won. Eagles won. Falcons lost. Niners lost. Giants, we didn't see that one. The Giants lose to the Rams by 1. So the Rams are in first place of the West. They play against the Niners this week. How is Dortch done? I don't know. You'll find out how he did in Week 17 against the Voyagers, who I saw won. So the Voyagers are still in first place. Kyler Murray was solid. Deshaun Watson was not, but he still won. Dortch was 7 for 130 and a score. Did that say 3 interceptions? No, I can't read. The Jets won. The Lions won. Panthers won. The Raiders lost to the Hogs 52-0. Tajay Sharp had a passer rating of 0. Jahmyr Gibbs scores 4 times, 1 for each of Tajay Sharp's 4 interceptions. Or 4 completions. Pick your poison. Ed Reed Blankenship with 2 of them. The Rams won. You've only won 5 in a row, but still, 5-0 in the stream is pretty good. Albeit against some not-so-good teams, but Baltimore's there. That's a good win. Although the Ravens did not have a good day. They went 1-3. Seattle loses 49-0 against the Steelers, so the Raiders and the Seahawks continue to do their jobs. Michael Thomas was picked off 7 times. And this means the Steelers versus the Ravens in Week 18 will decide the winner of the AFC North. No one had more than 2 interceptions. No Ernest Jones game. So obviously Pittsburgh won. The Titans won. Voyagers won. And that's everyone. Probably should have traded Dortch to the Chargers. You're probably right. Players of the Week. Tommy DeVito, Sean Tucker, Roquan Smith, and Chuck Clark. Shout out Sean. With the division on the line, he goes for 150 and 4 touchdowns. That's my Offensive Player of the Year. So we've got a lot of teams who have clinched. Titans clinched the division. Voyagers are in. Chargers clinched the division, even though it doesn't say that. Steelers are in. Ravens are in. Eagles clinched their division. We have had 12 spots clinched already. Oh, wait, no, 11. Wait, yeah, 11. There's 1 spot left in the NFC. Wait, can I count? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 1 spot left, and it's between these teams. The Dreadnoughts are in 7th. What is happening? So the Panthers have clinched their division, as have the Eagles and the Bears, and then the winner of this game probably wins the West. While in the AFC, we've had 2 divisions clinched. The Voyagers, I think, play the Dildos. The winner of that game probably wins the division as well. So in the AFC North, it's pretty simple. Winner of the Week 18 game wins the division. Titans get the number 1 seed with a win. They play against... Who did they play? They play against the Blues, who have completely fallen off the face of the earth. The Voyagers and the Dildos play in Week 18. Winner probably clinches the division. The Chargers clinch the division by beating the Broncos. I know it says we haven't, but we beat them twice, so we had the tiebreaker. The Bears have clinched the division. They are going for the number 1 seed, as is Carolina. Atlanta still has a wild card spot. Eagles clinch the division. Rams and Niners are both in. They are going for their division title as well. So this is what the playoff picture looks like as of now. There is a polar bear. You can figure out yourself who that is. So the races that we'll be looking for in Week 18 Obviously, the AFC North, the winner clinches the division. The winner of the Voyagers and the Dildos probably clinches the division. The winner of the Rams and Niners clinches the division. Also, wild card. The Broncos play the Raiders, so Denver is in. If the Dildos beat the Voyagers, they are in. If not, it goes to the Riverhogs or the Blues. As for the NFC, the question is the 7th seed. It belongs to the Dreadnoughts currently. Then it goes to the Cardinals. Then it goes to the Lions. Is there anybody else in the NFC who could get it? The Giants. We have all these teams still competing. One of these teams is going to make the playoffs in the NFC, yet in the AFC, these teams are probably all not going to make it. Does it even matter who wins between... Well, you're both going to make the playoffs, but it matters for the division. So in Week 18, there's three choices. Oh, the Cardinals played the Seahawks. Oh, well, that spoils the fun. So Arizona's going to get the 7th seed because they play Seattle. Okay, well, the NFC wildcard picture is dead. But there's 3 games here in Week 18. This game probably decides the AFC East. This game definitely decides the AFC North, and this game probably decides the West. I want to check tiebreakers real quick. So the Dildos beat the Voyagers in Week 4, so the winner of that game definitely wins the East. And then in the West, the Rams lost to the Niners. So yeah, the Niners would sweep them. So the winner of those 3 games win their divisions. It's that simple. All right, let's do our quick stats rundown. Everybody who's here, put your team in the chat. We'll sort by passer rating. Highest among starters is Trevor Lawrence because he gets to stat pad. Then we've got Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff, Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, Jalen Hurts. And the worst... Look how far Deshaun Watson is. And that team is going to make the playoffs. Who has thrown the most picks? Is it Levis? Oh, it's Tajae Sharp, who's thrown 39. Goodness. Sean Tucker is the current rushing leader, and he leads in touchdowns by far. That's my offense. Oh, no, he doesn't lead by far. Jahmyr Gibbs is second with 20, but he's averaging less than 4 yards a carry. The receiving leader in terms of receptions is Greg Dortch by 11. Then we have rookie. In terms of yards, it is the Greg Dortch Sean Tucker Offensive Player of the Year race has been cinema. Amon-Ra St. Brown's in second in yards. Here are all the 1,000-yard receivers. And then touchdowns. Keenan Allen with 17. Cooper Kupp right behind with 16. Who has allowed the most sacks? Chase Daniel, along with Taylor Decker. Minka Fitzpatrick leads in tackles. TFLs, 20 for Brian Brzee, who has no sacks. 18 for Micah Parsons. 8 interceptions for Ernest Jones. 2 fumble forces for a handful of guys here in the AFC. Recoveries, 2 for Kyle Hamilton and Marshawn Lattimore. In the NFC, TFLs, Grady Jarrett, Emmanuel Ogbah, and Chase Young. Sacks is Aaron Donald. Drew Sanders is in second. Interceptions, Justin Simmons, Darius Williams, Budda Baker, and Cam Sutton, and James Bradbury all have 5. Fumble forces, Bobby Wagner leads with 3 forces and 3 recoveries. Peppers has 2. Are there any perfect kickers? Harrison Butker stands alone. Blake Gillikin has punted the most, followed by Jamie Gillen. Shockers. Lou Headley has punted the least. 2 kick return touchdowns, both of which we saw, and 2 punt return touchdowns. All right, let's do stats. The first one I see is the Jets. Nick Chubb, under 1,000 yards. Sucks. But we're going to hand Ernest Jones to Depoy because of stat padding. Hogs. Mahomes has 26 touchdowns. What happened to the game I love? He has 29 in real life, to be fair, with a lot more interceptions than 3. The Black Knights are next. Drew Sanders, 17.5 sacks. That's a lot. Lawrence leads the league in touchdowns. And yeah, but he's a stat patter, so who cares? Cardinals. After Arizona, we have the Dildos. After them, we've got Baltimore. They have 3 guys with 80 catches. Damn. After the Ravens, we have the 49ers. Stat patter alert. He's going to go up to X Factor just because he got this stat pad against Seattle twice a year. I hate it here. After them, we've got the Browns. After the Browns, we have the Huskies. I'm not skipping anybody, by the way. This is the order that I see them. No one is getting skipped. I did not skip Bears again because Bears is below the Huskies. Mitchell Trubisky, passer rating of 123. You know what the move is, Todd. You know who you have to start the rest of the way. Leading receiver has 700 yards. Huh. 3 double-digit sack guys, though. Rams. (2,000-yard rushers. Chigo Kakwo is the leading receiver. Jalen Waddle has 600 yards. After the Rams, we have Carolina. Jerick McKinnon is the leading rusher. Okay. Jamari Sawyer's allowed 0 sacks. Goddamn. Titans. Jalen Waddle at 600 yards. What has Frank done to this sport I love? He's ruined it. Free him to a real team like the Chargers. After the Titans, we've got the Cowboys. I allowed 0 sacks in my 2-year J-League career. It's not impressive. Okay. Bulls. Two interceptions for Jared Goff. Two guys with 5 picks. Impressive. Steelers. Did I miss anybody other than Pittsburgh and myself, obviously? What would be the tiebreaker between the Hogs and the Dildos? That's a good question. Did you guys play each other, first off? Because if yes, that's your answer. If not, probably... Wow, Jermaine Johnson has 12 and a half sacks. Holy hell. If not, head-to-head tiebreaker, it would probably be conference record. All right, let's check awards. The MVP frontrunner is Lamar Jackson. Coach of the Year is Cam Newton. AFC Offensive Player of the Year. Why is he over Sean Tucker? What are we doing? Depoy is Ernest Jones. Stat patter. Sean Tucker is currently the Offensive Rookie of the Year with Gibson second. I feel like he should be like 6th. D-Roy is Ivan Pace. Owen Popo could catch him. Best quarterback is Patrick Mahomes. I guess the AFC's QBs haven't been all that impressive. Best running back is Sean Tucker. Best wide receiver, Keenan Allen. Best offensive lineman, Joel Bitonio. Gibbs has 22 touchdowns, but he has less than 4 yards a carry. I care about efficiency more than I care about scores. AJ Terrell, my PTSD is back. NFC, Lamar Jackson is the Offensive Player of the Year. Depoy is Aaron Donald. Offensive Rookie of the Year is Bijan Robinson. Drew Sanders is the Defensive Rookie of the Year. Trevor Lawrence, Best Quarterback. Joe Mixon. Cooper Kupp. Wow, the Niners are going to sweep through this. All because they stat pad. Donald, Watt, Buddha, Butker. Let's check on the injuries. What's the deal here? Derek Notty's hurt. Is that why the Blues suck? Probably. Oh, Ike Ekwonu, torn PCL. He's going to miss most of next year. Along with, obviously, the rest of this year. Myles Garrett, dislocated hip. Doesn't really matter. The Browns are out anyway. Algier, torn labrum. The Dreadnoughts, I think these guys were already hurt. And they still are going to make the playoffs. Maybe. Actually, no. The Cardinals play Seattle. Never mind. Brock Purdy's back for Atlanta. Darius Slay, broken collarbone. Odell Beckham, broken foot. Joe Tooney's out for another week. Derrick Henry's out for 2. He'll be unavailable in Week 18, and he will not go in the wild card round. B.J. Ojolari, broken collarbone. DeAndre Swift, broken ribs, and Ogbania Okoronkwo, dislocated elbow. Interesting. Okay, I think we just about covered it. We did injuries, standings, awards, stats, schedule. I don't think I missed anything. Oh, draft order. Draft order. Thank you. Yes. Seattle is still at 1. And then Hogs and Dildos. Conference record. The Dildos would have the tiebreaker. I don't like your chances here, bucko. What about the Voyagers? The Voyagers are 7 and they also have 11 wins, though. Yeah. I don't like your chances, bud. And then here's my team. I think this is as of last week, though. Yeah, because the Caps are at 1. It's always a week behind. So keep that in mind. Alrighty. Yeah, fix your game. So that should just about do it. I hope everybody enjoyed. Another stream in the books. 17 weeks down, 1 to go. When will week 18 be? I don't know. But it'll be sooner than later. So yeah. Peace out. What is happening? Oh, okay. Never mind. We're good. See ya.